I'm gonna neck a coffee and then loads of water, and then once we're live. Oh my god, we're live.
Strong professional start as ever. It's all right. There's no one watching.
I forgot it was a Turkish coffee, and all the coffee's at the bottom of it.
What makes it Turkish?
You can just put the filter coffee in the water.
Right. Okay.
That wasn't a good start. Big up Rosie, locked in.
Go on, Rosie. Go on, Rosie. Thanks for joining us. Taking a break out of your media presence yourself. Your little. Me and the Aussie are here watching. Oh, good day, Cobber. That's not racist, is it? No. Auto lock never in.
Right, Sharpey, we're starting the show.
We can't go outside, we've got to stay in. If together we fight, then this thing will win. So grab yourself a beer and grab yourself some grub.
Same dance every week.
With us at the virtual pub.
Sharpey, I feel so positive and joyous. Oh, Johnny,
God,
added
do
a
you
bit on
really?
the end of the... Sharpey, I feel so positive and joyous. I'm pretty sure the plane's going to crash on the way home because life couldn't be any better right now.
Right. Okay. That doesn't sound overly positive, but cool.
Well, I mean, all I mean is when life's going really well and then something terrible happens. Well, maybe mine is going to be the plane that I'm on tomorrow crashes, and it's going to end up lost, and I'm going to end up on. Do you ever do that thing when you're getting on a plane, and you you sort of scout out people in the airport, like in the waiting lounge? You sort of looking at all the people, thinking, right, if the plane goes down and we end up on a desert island like in Lost,
It'll
that
be
guy,
useful.
he looks like he's in the military. He's great. She's chuck her in the sea. She's just straight away. She's rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone looks at you and thinks, I hope he's not on my plane?
I reckon they look at me and go, he's probably into bushcraft. He's probably quite entertaining. Probably a bloody all-round nice guy, really.
Philanthropist, mainly.
Yeah, so...
maybe.
You might have noticed I'm sitting down tonight.
Yeah, different setup, look.
I'm already out of breath because of it. I need to breathe.
Yeah, it was close to the wire, wasn't it? You nearly saw costume changes, which were...
Yeah, well, I had the classic virtual pub shirt on, this one, and Sharpey was telling me that it clashed with the thing behind, so I freaked out last minute and had to do a last minute.
It was an
late
eyesore.
night. Yeah. Eyesore?
I saw it.
Oh, I thought you said I was an eyesore. Cheek
Well,
of it.
Maybe
Should we
I
put
did.
this on in the background?
I don't know, it didn't get a great response last time, did it, last week?
Tell us in the comments if you think the music's annoying, but for now, big up Dickie locked in. Big up Kyle, big up Rosie, and big up Mo as well. Thank you very much
Good
for joining
evening,
us here
everyone.
on the virtual pub.
So you're stuck with him and me tonight?
Yeah, just us two, but we've put a bit of effort in, haven't we? I'm annoyed with the tunes in the background already. So
too much.
It's really hard sitting down. I'm sort of mind you, it's probably something to do with the pint of coffee and water that I've just necked.
Why are you sat down? Talk me through that choice.
I need more of you in my headphones because I can't really hear you that well. I can,
Okay.
but
Is that anything to do with you sitting
now?
now?
Probably. I'm
Okay.
fuming about it. Big up Penny for joining us. Thank you very much.
That's my cousin. Hello, cuz.
How is it? Hello,
Yeah.
cousin.
She put us on to Emma, who was the teacher that hooked us up with the masterclass last time to help parents get their heads around teaching their kids while schools were closed.
That was good, wasn't it? Remember all the master classes we used to do? There was loads, wasn't there?
Remember that? Do you remember Domain that did the cocktail class? Do
Where
you
did
remember
he
who
come
put us
from?
onto him? I'm not going to do that again.
We can give him one shout out, but then
Right.
after that they have to pay.
It's Lloyd from the Dark Bear in Bridport.
You still got it right there.
Oh, yeah.
Dark Bear Bar in Bridport. Big those guys up. Conversations happening in the background with those guys that could be super exciting, I think.
How can we watch live on YouTube? We've searched the virtual pub.
You won't find it because there's a virtual pub quiz, and it means that you can't find us because we're not anywhere near as big. Those guys get 500,000 views on every video, so
we only
there's
get
the
a quarter
link
of a million.
if you want it. If you're watching on Facebook and you need to watch on YouTube for any reason, there's the link in the comments. That was a bit of housekeeping we always used to do, wasn't it, when we were taking it a lot more seriously and being a lot more professional about things.
Wow. Very professional still. Very professional.
We're alright, we're doing our best. Look, I mean, camera game's gone up, so GH5 now.
Didn't take you long to
set's
mention
looking
that,
pretty
did it?
good.
The set,
still
yeah.
in the
So
caravan,
why
still
are
in
you
the-
sat down? Talk us through that.
I don't know. I just thought I'd just switch it up a bit because we're going to just have a natter, and we kind of we've called it Untold Stories, haven't we? We've sort of been speaking throughout the week, and we thought, Luca's busy at the moment. He's doing the Andrea takeaway thing. Owen is having connection issues over in Germany.
Owen's dial-up's not up to the job.
Say it again.
I said Owen's dial-up isn't up to the job.
No, he's on Talk Germany.
His mum's on the phone, so we can't get on.
Yeah. Hello, Maddie. Thank you for joining us.
Hey.
Lovely to have you here. Yeah, and Josh, bless him, he's absolutely knackered. He's been working.
He's been up chimney.
Yeah, literally sweeping and predominantly manufacturing chimneys, but I suppose he has to sweep them now and again. He's a solid fuel heating engineer. That's exactly what he is.
If you like, I don't know. Don't know what he does.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Up a chimney.
Yeah, so those guys are all a little bit either knackered, busy, whatever, or just didn't want to do it. Butler's locked in.
Butler
The whole
and
OG
Lendog.
crew locked in. Big up Lennon watching.
Big up Lennon.
Bosh.
Lennon
There's
likes
the
to shout
names.
out. Hello, mate.
Hello, Lennon. How you doing? So we decided we were chatting in the week, and we decided that there's quite a few anecdotes that we know about each other, but we've never sort of said about on the pub. So we thought, why don't we do just a little show where we kind of have a natter about some of the weird and wonderful things that we've been up to in the last few years or 10 years or however long it's been.
It was a good way of you justifying talking about yourself a bit more to a wider audience, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean...
I'm on board.
I mean, sorry, there's loads of things happening on my screen. We might lose me. That would be terrible because there's only two of us. No, it's all right. Save the day.
Be right.
Again.
Hi, Mike.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in again, mate.
What are you drinking?
Vino.
Out of a bucket.
Well, a glass. Better than a bottle.
True.
Cheers. What are you drinking? Your last of your Spanish beers?
Yeah, this is going to be the last one that I have, and then I've got...
Oh, yeah, I suppose we talked about you being on a plane. We didn't say where you're going.
Yeah. So this is my last night in Spain. I'm heading back tomorrow. I'm going to be coming back to the UK. I've got to self-isolate for 2 weeks, but after that, there's all sorts of fun things happening. I'm an uncle now. How cool is that? My little brother had a baby. He didn't have a baby. His partner had a baby. What happened was they had unprotected sex, and then yeah, and now there's this little guy that lives in their house. Yeah, and he's gorgeous. So big those two up, and JJ's locked up
everyone
with Breeze
come
as
in.
well. Look at all the OGs popping in.
JJ, Dickie,
You know what's
Aston.
happened? Josh isn't on, so everyone's come on.
That's it. The Preston Massive, look, the wordsmiths that they are. Disco, wine.
There you go.
SF Dan.
Can we talk
What's
about me
the SF
again now?
stand for? Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm coming back tomorrow. I'm flying back midday. Got to leave here 8 o'clock in the morning. Get over to the what's the thing called? Plane station, airport. That was real. That wasn't even
the water zoo.
Plane station was what was in my head. So I got to take the train here from the train station to the plane station, and then flying back. And oh look, there's my auntie talking about.
Yeah.
Love hearing about my nephew and his unprotected sex. Well, I mean, presumably that is what happened because there's a little man now, and he seems to be ruling the roost. He seems to be.
They do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more needy than you.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So I'm coming back, and I've got a nephew to go and see after 2 weeks isolation. Obviously, I'm going to be isolating in Dartmouth of all places through a friend of mine who's got a little cabin thing in the garden. So yeah, I'm going to go and stay in there for 2 weeks, and then as soon as that's done, I'm going to be going to meet my little nephew and a load of other stuff as well. I've got a job lined up. I've potentially buying a house, and I'm getting married as well. Leave it. Move on to the next thing.
I had that all queued, ready to go. You ruined it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking at taking a full-time job up in Exeter, and also
with
looking
the
at
boss and everything.
Yeah, with an actual boss and everything. I won't
Whoa.
be the boss. It'll be weird to get used to. Some people say that once you've been self-employed or you've run a company or whatever, then you can never go back to being employed. So in a couple of months' time, live here on the virtual pub, I'll give you the lowdown on how that actually goes, because yeah, it could be challenging, but I don't know. This
You're asking if there's any work going.
Yeah, it's
tried it. Not for me.
Yeah, no, I reckon I'll be alright with it. This year I've worked for Luca. How much harder can it get?
Yeah.
No, it was good fun doing that thing, but this year's been a totally different year for me. This year for me basically goes the virtual pub, Andrea restaurant, Spain, and then up to today. So it's been totally different to the normal. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know. I keep putting them here. I'm going to hide them.
Don't put them there.
All right. Here.
Jamie Just. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, sir.
Oh, big up everyone that's locked in. Mitch is here. Jack's here. Breeze is here.
Oh, Andy Sams is
Samsy's here.
Get
How's
on.
it going? Thanks
Jamie was playing an intense game of Scrabble, but I'm assuming he lost, and so he's put the kids to bed as punishment. Don't get married, run. Advice from Mike. Don't know, I think it's on the cards. Evening Breeze. Anywho. So, gone off Spain now, have you?
Yeah. No, it's not that. It's loads of stuff. Well, the first thing that happened was the house that I put an offer on at the beginning of this year came back on the market. Apparently the first person that tried to buy it was an old boy that was going to be it's a doer-upper for sure. Well, you've seen it. You've seen how much of a doer-upper it is. There's a lot of work that needs to go into it. And the old boy that bought it originally, he pulled out of the sale in the summer because of the whole COVID situation. And then apparently some young lady bought it. She got the survey done and ran a mile once she got the survey done because there's a lot of work to do to the house. I think she just wanted to move into a place. So it's come back on the market. I'm speaking to the estate agent and what's the other guy called? Mortgage advisor at the moment. So but because of this year being all kind of weird and wonderful and kind of not doing my normal thing, my books this year basically look horrendous. So on paper, I've not earned any money this year. I mean, not on paper. I literally haven't earned any money this year, versus kind of a normal year. So, to solve that, I started speaking to a few web design type places in Exeter, and there's a few opportunities there. So I'm looking like I'm going to take a full-time job and buy a house and get married and a few other things as well. Oh, and I'm coming back to see my nephew. So, it's
I'm almost annoyed that you're beating me to that because you know you're going to just skim over it quite smoothly and I don't get a chance to really put the boat in, but yeah, good. So that's the rundown of Sam's life. Anyone got any questions? And
there's
that's
questions here.
Story time.
What are these stories then, boys? Well, we got a couple things to talk about. Nothing particularly mental.
It's more topics, isn't it? We're going to welcome
topics.
Everyone's involvement with us.
Totally tonight, if anyone's got any mad questions like we used to have, I think we've done the meal deal thing to death. But anything along those lines, weird and wonderful stories. Oh no, I've mentioned the married thing too many times.
Yeah, got family in here now, haven't you?
I forget these things are recorded.
Before we forget, JJ, happy birthday to your old man. Nick's birthday today, I believe.
Big up Nick.
He popped on the show once, didn't he? That was awesome.
Remember, he came on and played. I watched that one the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Blind dating's gone downhill. Number 3, what's your name and where'd you come from? Great
My name's Barry.
Topic.
My name's Bagjohn. I'm from Glasgow.
My name's Stevie.
I like football, Celtic.
And Bucket. I can't do it.
So while we're on the topic of me being an uncle, I nearly just stopped then and said, while we're on the topic of me.
Me, yeah, classic.
While we're on the topic of new little people coming into the world, any parenting tips, Sharpey?
Parenting tips.
I'm aware that I'm not a parent, but what I mean by that is, how'd you do it? Because they're little guys, and I feel like you could end up. I don't know. I just feel like there's potentially pressure to do the best you can with them. How do you manage?
There definitely is pressure to do the best you can with them. I'm not here to give parenting advice. That's awful.
What's your number one tip for being a parent? Or just being around little people. By that I don't mean little people like dwarves.
like Josh.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't want to come across like I'm bigging myself up.
Well,
as a
I've
dad.
asked you.
That's a
it's
weird.
not like you've just come on here and gone, right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Jeremy's parenting show.
I think Jack's hit it on the head. Yeah, get a sick wall and just
yeah. And don't forget to point it every morning. Remember that was a thing on here once. One of the shows I watched earlier. I think it might have even been Jack that said it about you repointing your wall every morning.
Yeah.
Snuggle them. There you go.
I think with I think with kids just have fun. Make sure you're fun. Must, make them your best friends as well as your kids. That's important. Speaking of kids, I don't think she's watching because she's probably got her hands full, but Libby Jeffcoat and her fella Simon have just had a little boy in Denmark. So congratulations to them. Yeah, everyone's had it.
Do you ever worry that you're going to create too much of a magical world of mystery and wonder, and then when they grow up, they're going to turn into pessimists because it's so good for them when they're kids that when they grow up and they have to get a job and have a boss and all that sort of stuff, that it does their head in?
Yeah, I think you can make all these wonderful little, like, in-jokes and family things that you know, fairy doors and stuff like that. You get these little doors that you can stick to trees or sideboards or wherever you want to, and it's like a little door for the fairies to come through and stuff. But then I think you run the risk of the kids starting school age and going into school and their friends being like, whatever, dickhead.
Yeah. Father Christmas, you having a laugh. What's that bloke called? Spike
Milligan.
Spike Milligan. Apparently he did that way too much of his kids. He just created such this crazy world of fairies and fairy tale stories and kind of the Easter Bunny and Father Christmas and all that stuff, and they grew up and went out into the big wide world, and they were fuming with him because basically he
essentially got bullied out of it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I do think about that stuff a lot. I think about like how much, because like ultimately I'd love to just live in that world with like the children that are sort of in one's life, like my new little nephew or your kids, whatever. It's great, isn't it, when you're with them and like say you're like, I don't know, playing with them with their toys or whatever, you do go into their world with them, and it's kind of you end up kind of losing sense of your own reality. But then when you have to snap back out of it and come back into normal reality, it's kind of not as fun. And then I think, well, that's going to happen to them at some point, and I don't know when it happens. I don't know if it's primary school when one of their mates goes, "Oh my God, I've heard Father Christmas isn't real," like, or
I think some of the best parents are the ones that just live in that little fantasy land permanently. They're just on that level all the time. I think your brother's going to be fantastic, by the way. On that note,
yeah, totally. He already is. I FaceTimed him today, and he's great with it. He's taken to it perfectly, really.
Some of you may have seen earlier, I put a picture up, but it was I think my head's particularly red this evening because I had to scrub it like nobody's business because I was covered in makeup before we went on this evening. And then
I can't sit this far forward.
Did something.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, go on.
I can't sit this far forward the whole night. I need to sit back here.
Need to talk about Sam again. Can't hear at all now. Oh no, you can now.
1, 2.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's all good. It's all good. Oh. So that was Sam. Everyone's heard enough about him.
Hello?
There he is. We could hear you before anyway.
Swapping us back. I prefer being on the left. I couldn't hear you. I lost it. If I sit back like this, though, does the lighting still work? That's the main thing that people tune in for, isn't it? What about if I just veg? What about if I just get like this?
To be fair, I think most people tune in for the shirt, and that's gone, so they probably just won't bother now.
Yeah, exactly. What's Jack James saying on a DM?
Ooh, I see what Jack James is saying.
Jack, let's do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Look it up, and if you can, let's do it. Potential special guest coming on in soon, at some point. Jezza, when we're talking about kids and that, what about any like mad funny stories from the girls? Because your videos that you make of them are great. I love them. If anyone remembers back in the day when the oldest one, Summer, was a little baby, and you used to just film her when she didn't have a clue what was going on, and you'd say mad stuff, and she would sort of react all innocently in that. I miss those videos. You did one with the little one.
Did the one with Emily the other day, yeah, trying to get her to drink some shots, but she was not having it. Yeah, they are good. They are good. They're a bit more wise to it now, though. But there was a time we were going on holiday to France, and we went to we were getting the ferry from Plymouth, and we went up a bit early, made a day of it, went shopping, went for dinner at Pizza Hut, and turned my back for 5 seconds, turned around, and Summer decided to Whoa, that was loud, sorry. Decided to stand up on the bench of the little cubicle bit we were on, and just drop her trousers and moon the whole restaurant. And I just started my new job, and a lady that I worked for was on the table next to me because she lived in Plymouth, and I had to sort of excuse my daughter and explain to my daughter why it wasn't all right to show your bum to a restaurant full of people while they're eating their dinner. What are you filming?
I'm just doing an Instagram story. We're live right now on the virtual pub. Come and join us over on Facebook and YouTube Live. My moustache is not correct. There you go.
Yeah, so kids get the bums out a lot.
Better. Yeah,
I was so hoping that makeup wouldn't wash
doesn't
off,
mean it's okay for them to do it, does it?
No, exactly. No, I mean, I've got my bum out right now, but yeah, so they are bloody hilarious. Funnier than anyone
else.
else.
On the topic of me, and whilst we're on the topic of me and how great I am and how important I am, which tangentially we always are, because essentially this whole platform's been set up based on my fragile ego. I'm going to be on a podcast next week. That'll be fun, won't it? And not this one.
That will be. What have they got you on for?
Well, because I'm so hard, jumping in cold water and stuff all the time, doing loads of cycling. Pretty. I'm a valuable member of society.
Yeah. Do you remember Rob Hunt? He did it every day for a year to raise money for a charity.
I listened to that one today.
Yeah,
he was good. That was really good.
You've jumped in a river a couple of times and you're getting on podcasts. He did it for charity, so
I didn't invite myself on, mate. People are approaching me and saying, "Sam, will you come and be on the podcast?"
Well,
so
you should have said, "I'm not the man for the job. Get Rob on there."
Yeah, true. If it's cold water you want,
do it yourself. He's saving some seals.
Yeah,
Jamie Trust. I get my bum out. To be fair,
you're not going to let me talk. Oh.
If the food's a bit slow in a restaurant, he gets his bum out. Definitely speeds things up. There you go.
It's true.
That's more not really a parenting tip. That one. That's more of a eating out tip. Tips. Saturday. Anyway, go on. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, it's all right. It was basically just a thing so I could talk about myself. But
yeah,
I'm going to be on a podcast next week. We're doing the record on Wednesday, and going to be talking about all things sort of not quite mental health, more just like well-being type stuff, which I don't claim to be an expert on, but I don't know. Since I've been over here, to be fair, it's been pretty well-being focused. I wake up in the morning at the moment, do a group meditation with the guys here, and then I go into a yoga thing. I'm eating like better breakfast than I do in the UK at the moment. Go for a run. Go and jump in the river that's here. It's like, I don't know. I'm not going to jump on there and start being like, oh yeah, everybody should do the routine that I'm doing. But
that's the take-home message, isn't it?
Not necessarily. It's not. It's not to encourage.
I'm not going to get on and say
that,
but they'll read between the lines.
Right. What happened was someone messaged me and said, "Do you want to come and be on a podcast?" And obviously, when that happens, if you're me, you don't say no, because it's a chance for you to show off and.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are you going to say whose podcast it is, or was that?
Oh yeah, Jay Unwin. Jay was on here for a while, wasn't he? He was doing the wellbeing masterclasses. What do we call it? It was a good name. Every show had a really good name. Somebody in the background must have been really good at marketing.
He was, wasn't he? Wasn't he good?
Isolation Motivation. It was called. Fucking what a name that is.
Yeah, very good. He came on just as a zombie once, didn't he? Like summer.
Yeah. Whenever you're scrolling through the videos, I always see that one, and I'm like. As if I've managed to find a lean even when I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
California lean. I think we should interact with some people in the comments, because if I just talk about myself...
Breeze is kicking off about something. I think lockdown will end soon. Sorry to be boring. That's not boring. We'd love it to end.
What are we all thinking? Because what's the score actually at the moment, Jazza? Because last I heard it was meant to be finishing on the 2nd of December.
Yeah, I think that's still the plan.
Are we going to have a Christmas?
It'll be... Well... I think they're under such pressure to have a Christmas that they're going to have to, aren't they? But I think I did hear that for every day they ease the restrictions over Christmas, they'll have to have 5 days of intense restrictions. So if they have 5 days off, that's the majority of a month in lockdown afterwards, isn't it?
So we're going to have Christmas and then be locked down till March, till like springtime.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? But they did say I think it's plateauing now rather than going up. So I don't know. No expert. I know I've been told off by the majority of my mates for being a bit of a Debbie Downer about it all this week. Because I've just been saying, just bin Christmas, get it over and done with, and let's have a summer. but not a popular decision. All right, you've got a bottle of wine. Well done.
I'm just showing if any like wine geeks are out there. Check this one out.
What is it?
It's
It better be Spanish.
It is. It's Rioja. It's 2016 Muga, M-U-G-A, Muga. But I got this wine app, which is quite cool. So when you're in the shop, you can I've messed up the autofocus now, haven't I? More tech, more problems, isn't it? There's a good wine app that when you're in the shop, you scan the barcode or just type in the name or whatever, and you get reviews of it. So it's it's a cool way to know that you're buying half decent wine, because I think a lot of wine is expensive but not necessarily that good. So yeah,
I was trying to find the best one I can for £3.
As if I'm out of focus now.
I know, fuming about it.
See, this is what we were saying earlier. Your setup's really simple. You're just USB mic straight in, aren't you?
Sorry, I'm just reading Jack's comments. He misses gigs, and that is massive, isn't it? Live music, we miss him. Needs to see Mother Vulture from the VP.
Autofocus. Manually.
Sam's just furious he can't see himself, but I'm going to talk to you, Jack. Yes, mate, gigs. That's the one, innit? I know. Yeah, have you not seen Mother Vulture? That's ridiculous if you've not. I really want to see Rue again, yes.
Did you see Rue live, Sharpey?
Only on here, but twice in one night on here. That was bloody amazing. But no, they were incroyable. And
I want to see them live.
Obviously the kids.
Because apparently they play with a bigger band than they did when they were on here. It was just the two of them, wasn't it?
Did you just stifle a burp?
Yeah, off mic, because I'm so professional.
Very good, very good.
Apparently they play with more people than they did when they played on the pub.
Didn't need it. Barney did it all.
To be fair, yeah, they were incredible when they played on air.
Yeah, really good. Rue was
I'd
good.
go as
See,
far as
Mike
saying
remembers.
One of the best, if not the best. I'd say it. Fuck it.
Saw Rue on Halloween. Very good. Where was that, Mike? Mitch.
Mitch's cultural review. Mitch's cultural review. Right, Mitch, you're our roving reporter now. We're going to send you to different events, and you've got to come on here and tell us how they were. I think that'd be a fun little segment to do. Talking of segments, let's get back on the notes. We cover that it was Jay Unwin's podcast, and I'm really excited to go on there, and we're going to have a natter. And it's always interesting when Jay and I get together in terms of having a natter and stuff. We did record a podcast for his first series, but it never made it because there was technical issues, so it's pretty much a re-record this one, but it's good because I didn't think I did that well on the first one, so now I've got a benchmark. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. That's covered. That's going at the bottom of the list. Play fighting. You want to know about that?
Yep.
So there's an event that happens here every week. Oh God, there we go. There's an event that happens here every week. Play fighting, basically.
What, in your little cult in Spain?
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
So basically, everybody sits in a circle, and two people at a time go in for a 3-minute round. And the idea is for real? This is real, honestly.
Well, okay.
So the idea is that you're trying to pin the other person on their back for 3 seconds. Leave it.
This isn't real. This is
real,
not
honestly.
Real. No
I'm
way.
going to go on to say about how magical it is. So don't slag it off, especially because they might be watching.
Okay.
No.
I just want someone to burst into your caravan and say, "You're making us look like knobs. This isn't true."
It's a really beautiful thing, honestly.
All right.
So so the idea is you're trying to pin the other person on their back for 3 seconds, but basically you're allowed to use force, but you're not allowed to inflict pain, right? So it's kind of what I've attributed it to is like jiu-jitsu, kind of that sort of thing. Like that was the only sort of bit of experience that I thought I could lean on with that, and I don't have any experience in jiu-jitsu other than a couple of mates sort of showing me a few bits and bobs.
Right. Okay.
So but it is beautiful, right? The reason I've brought this up is because I had a play fight, a 3-minute round against one guy, and I didn't know the guy, Spanish guy, speaks English, and I hadn't spoken to him before, and it's a level of intimacy. Yeah, it's a level of intimacy that you don't get in normal life, and it was beautiful. Like it's beautiful to watch. Like two people. I think you see a lot about a person when you see them fighting, even if it's play fighting. You kind of see personality coming through, and I really noticed that my personality was coming through. Like I went in a little bit reserved, and then when I started losing, I felt myself like kick off. I was like, I'm not fucking losing, and I put more into it. And it's kind of, you have to sort of reserve yourself to not actually hurt the person, but at the same time you're kind of trying to put force into it and stuff. It's I think it's a beautiful thing, and the reason I'm sort of bringing it up is I want to carry it on when I get back. So maybe, well, judging by your reaction, we're not going to be doing it in your living room. So maybe I'm going to have to join a BJJ gym or something. But I really enjoyed it.
Questions.
I enjoyed it, and I think it's a good thing to do. And I think that we don't do enough of that sort of stuff. I think it's something that you do when you're a kid, and you do it naturally, and you grow out of it. So there's a bit of content for you.
So you just, I mean, are you clothed when you're doing this?
Yes.
Like, but do you have to wear special outfits to do this wrestling?
No, come on. It's a nice thing.
Is it just for the men?
No. I had a play fight against a girl as well. How'd you feel about that?
Well,
and I lost.
You lost.
So I did actually lose. I did, because
mental.
I was kind of holding back. Again, personality.
Is this your auntie? She's smashed the comment there. Sam forgot the first rule of Play Fight Club.
I'll do anything for a bit of content.
That's incredible.
Oh. All right, well, that's backfired. It was a beautiful thing, and I think it's worth considering. So,
well, yeah, I'll see how it goes when you bring it back.
When I
to
put
the
that
UK.
on the notes earlier, I thought I'm not going to get away with this, am I?
Well, I mean, what did you expect?
Well, I expected you to go, well, that's quite interesting, actually. Maybe you should come around my house and set up a little mat on the floor.
It's interesting for sure, but it's not earning you an invite to my gaff. That's
right. I won't tell you about what else has been happening over here then.
No, I wouldn't. I would not. Right. No. Mike has had an interesting idea there. I know you guys have lives and jobs. Well, half right, eh, Sam? When lockdown over, you guys should do events every so often and get a band in and chat. Well, we could do, couldn't we?
We spoke about doing a couple of sort of semi-live things, didn't we? Like, there's a couple of options to do the virtual pub sort of on location. 3 guesses where we're going to be doing it. And then, we was even talking about if we could potentially do, well, exactly what Mike's just said, basically. So get an audience in, have some bands playing, but then between the bands kind of do this type of format where we have a natter and stuff, and obviously natter to the band and all that sort of stuff, like we were doing it before. And but yeah, do it in front of a live audience, and I'd be excited to do that. I think it'd be cool. We definitely want to kind of morph this into something that's just. No, it's not
basically the new TFI Friday, like Chris Evans used to do, just like that. Before your time, you're going to say, aren't you?
No, I do vaguely remember it. Was that the thing where they used to have an island, like a British Isles, on not a swimming pool? It was like some outdoor water thing.
That was Good Morning or This Morning or whatever it was.
How was it?
And they used to do the weather.
Friday then?
It was Chris Evans' thing on Channel 4. They used to have all the bands come on and guests and. It's amazing. It's great. Everyone.
All right. Let's copy that.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Is this the fact that this line here isn't straight? Is that annoying anyone else?
Mate, you're so blurry we can't see. Doesn't matter.
Right, we got multi-pitch. We've got times you've met celebrities. We got a few things about holidays. We got me going up a mountain. 2 different times of.
I'd like to hear interesting stories from anyone who's watching about when they've met celebrities.
Yeah, go on.
Aston's got a good one.
Stories.
Don't know if Aston's still watching. I'll tell it on his behalf. Go on then.
Go on then.
I don't know if it's interesting, but it made me laugh when we watched when the Kooks came down to Torquay. They played in the Riviera Centre. A lot of people went to watch them, and he went to Mambo afterwards, where the after party was, and all the band went there and everything. And someone stopped him and said, "Can I have a photo?" And he said, "Well, mate, I'm not in the band. You don't want a photo of me, but you're more than welcome." And this guy got really shirty with him. It's like, "Don't be a dickhead. Why will you let me a photo?" So, mate, I'm not in the band. And they nearly came to blows about it. It's hilarious. The band, he was like, "Look, the band are there. I'm here. I'm nothing to do with them. You don't want a photo with me. I'm just a dickhead at the bar." He was like, "Oh, I want a photo." Yeah, fell out about it. Met Jason Momoa at Guns N' Roses. I don't know.
Frontman.
Everyone only knows Luke, don't they? The singer, the curly hair.
Don't know any of them.
Does Priti Patel count? Yes, Mike,
go on,
it does.
Mike. Give us a story.
Oh, Mitch met Jason Momoa at Guns N' Roses unexpectedly. That is that huge man, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one that
I
looks
only know
like
that 'cause he's got
the bloke out of Moana.
He's got a sick YouTube channel.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's really good. He's into his filmmaking like himself, and all of his YouTube sort of episodes are like insane production, like really nice little movies in and of themselves. Even all the vlog sort of stuff is super well shot and delightful.
What's he doing? Just jumping in rivers and stuff?
Well, he's going about being Jason Momoa. He's
fair enough. Yeah, it works better when you're a celebrity.
He's a busy guy. He's was he in Game of Thrones? Is he one of the? Is he the head of the? I've only watched the first season, but I'm pretty sure he's in that. He's the main guy from the kind of sort of Aboriginal type tribe.
No,
I might be completely wrong.
Oh, what? Right, sorry. Yeah, I was going to say he's not an Aborigine.
No. Cool. Welcome to the virtual pub where we just spew off facts that aren't even true.
Yeah, we just lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a celebrity story. Do you want to hear the Ray Mears one?
Yes.
All right. So, went to watch Ray Mears at the theatre doing a talk about adventure and survival and all that sort of stuff. It was in two parts. The first part was him talking about adventure and survival and all that sort of stuff, and then during the break he said that they were going to put a thing on the stage and you could write a little question down for him, and he would answer some of the questions in the second half. The second half of the show was just him answering questions. So that day I'd been listening to a podcast. The podcast was by a guy called Paul Kirtley, which is a bushcraft and survival instructor. I spend way too much time sort of studying that stuff without actually going out into the woods and doing it. So I dropped
you in the woods once.
You did? That was. Where was that?
Just
and why was I with you? Oh, we finished work
behind Meadfoot. I think we'd been to. I don't know. We were hanging out, and then we went to B&Q. I think so. You can get some rope or something, and then you just disappeared with a tarp and said, "Right, I'll see you in a week."
I think that was for a party rather than camping. I think that was to go and set up a birthday party or something.
Oh, that's awkward. I wasn't invited to the party. I just was under the impression you were just going to try and survive in the woods for a week.
No,
dropped you off. Mad illegal rave I wasn't invited to. Fair enough.
Not your crowd, mate. Not your crowd.
Okay, back to Ray. Go on.
So, that day I'd been listening to this podcast by a guy called Paul Kirtley. It's a sort of bushcraft and survival podcast. And Paul Kirtley happened to have trained under Ray Mears for the first sort of 10 years of his career. In this podcast, Paul Kirtley's talking about training under Ray Mears, and he's talking about when Ray Mears' company that's called Woodlaw, when they got to 40 years old as a business, everybody that worked for them got a special knife made for them, and they called it the Woodlaw 40th anniversary bushcraft knife. So that phrase was in my head, and when Ray Mears said, has anybody got any questions, stick them in the hat or whatever it was, during the break, that was my question. It didn't get answered in the second half, but afterwards I was being a bit of a fanboy, and I waited around outside for him with other people. I wasn't just stood there by myself. Just for what it's worth.
Just with a pen.
Sign this for me.
Sign
I'm not asking you about some niche knife that you can't even. Yeah, so he came outside, and I was chatting to him, and I said he said about the format of the show and everything. And I said, oh yeah, I did put a question in, it just didn't get answered. And he said, oh, which one was your question? I asked him about this. I said, have you still got your Woodlaw 40th anniversary bushcraft knife? And he looked at me really weird, and he was like, no, I haven't. And I went, but you know what I mean? And he went, yeah. And I went, oh, what happened to it? And he said, it got stolen on a bushcraft instructing course that I was doing a couple of years back. And I mean, it's such a niche reference that he obviously assumed it was me that had been on this course and stolen it from him, because otherwise how would I know the phrase 40th anniversary Woodlaw bushcraft knife?
This guy was dressed in black, nicked my knife, and then just jumped in a river.
Yeah. You've been done by, man, like a squid. Yeah, so my one meeting with Ray Mears, who's a bit of a hero of mine, turned out that he now just thinks I've robbed him. So
Yeah.
somebody's saying your video is a bit blurry. It was fine until fairly recently. Someone's mugging me off because I can see that it's not blurry.
No, it is blurry.
Oh, leave it out.
It genuinely is.
What do you mean it genuinely? I'm going full screen so I can have a look. It's not.
It is. It's
clean
not
as a
now.
whistle.
That's fixed it. That is fixed it. It was, I promise. Genuinely was. I had a
Right,
photo with
so-
Danny Dyer once. He came into a pub I was working in to try and keep a low profile so no one would ask him for autographs and whatnot. Let the side down. Served him his
Did you get one?
carling and scampi and chips. Yeah, he was about to walk out and I was, "Oi, Danny!" "Yes, bruv." Have a quick photo.
What was
Yeah,
he? Was he like?
professional
What was
to
he
the
like
very
about
end.
it? Was he sound about it?
He was like every film he's played. Yeah, he's just himself. Oh yeah, sound. Got the photo. I'll show you later. Put it up. Yeah, he's. Yeah, he was the same.
Gary
Got drunk with
Oldman
the
came up
Gloucester
to me
rugby
when I
team
was.
once.
Sorry, mate. Gary Oldman came
It's
up
alright.
to me when I was working once in Sainsbury's to ask me. This isn't me, by the way. This is my auntie Tracy. Gary Oldman came up to me when I was working in Sainsbury's to ask me where the ATMs were. I managed to get his autograph, and security pulled off the CCTV of me and him. He looks like he's stalking me. There you
Should've
go.
got his PIN
That's
number,
Auntie
not his
Tracy meeting
autograph.
Gary Oldman. Anybody else in the comments got any celebrity story? I got another one, but there's family watching, so I'll probably leave it.
Yeah, don't tell that Bristol story you told me yesterday.
Yeah, well, the Bristol story up until the point where I went out after the show is kind of an alright thing to talk about. It's just the rest
Yeah,
of that
but
night is
nothing like as
absolutely
interesting.
not appropriate.
Well, speaking of Bristol, when I was living in Bristol, a friend of mine was obsessed with what's his name? Justin Lee Collins. Do you remember him with the big mane of hair? Bristolian guy, comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking out of Sainsbury's and I turned around and saw him at the checkout in Sainsbury's, and I called her. I was like, "Look, it's Justin Lee Collins at the checkouts. Do you want to speak to him? Because I will go and pass the phone to him." She went, "Yeah, go on, a day." So I ran back into the supermarket, walked up to him, tapped him on the shoulder. It wasn't him. I just left, ran away. Wasn't him at all.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Was it Russell Brand?
No, it's just some bloke with loads of hair.
Was it? What's the? There's like a little group of them that all look the same in sort of silhouette form.
I mean, no, it was just the bloke. If it was someone else famous, I'd have stopped and pretended that we wanted to speak to him, but it wasn't. It was a bloke who had no relevance at all. That's a bit harsh.
That's celebrities
Relevant to
covered.
someone. That's celebrities, yeah.
Done that. Next, multi-pitch climb. That's
Karina's coming with a...
Karina
I met
Stevens. Go on,
Ross.
read that out.
Oh, awkwardly, I don't know who he is, but I met Ross Edgley. He's a massive hero of mine. He swam... Oh, okay. I'm going to explain who it is. He swam around the UK and has done several
Read
other
it properly
huge
so people can
challenges.
hear it.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, but just read it more eloquently.
I met Ross Edgley. He's a massive hero of mine. He swam around the UK and has done several other huge challenges. I was really looking forward to meeting him at an event in Wales. I fell asleep and almost missed it. I had to dash there with pillow crinkles on my face and smudged makeup. Just made it though, so pleased. Good, well I'm glad you're pleased. Pillow wrinkles, crinkles. I served Deborah Meadham. Do you always, I watch that and I always think, God, I hope Deborah doesn't invest. Wouldn't you be disappointed if she was the one to invest?
Which one's that? The sour-faced blonde one?
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't work with her. If anything.
No.
No. just
Keep your
rather
money. No thanks. Peter Jones or
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. Auntie Tracy served Deborah Meaden, Dragon's Den. She waited for her 2p change. That's how you get rich.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
It's true. Most of the rich
It is.
people do. Yeah. What's the thing? Count the pennies and the pounds to look after themselves, whatever it is.
Something like that. Yeah.
I just scrolled back through that comment that says Sam forgot the first rule of Play Fight Club.
It's brilliant. Very good.
Holiday romances. Was that your one? Did I put that in there?
No, you put that on there. I haven't had one, I don't think.
All right.
Good
Trailer
one, though.
notes. Raining days. We've got loads of raining day stories. If anyone's got any questions, by the way, if anyone wants to know anything, we're yeah, it's a bit of a Q&A session tonight. So if you've got any weird and wonderful questions or anything you want to know about us, guys, then throw them in the comments.
Yeah.
Or if you've got any mad stories, also chuck them in the comments, because we'll just read them out.
Q&A with Moriarty was probably more interesting last week, but you can have a Q&A with us, dickheads.
They were good,
tonight.
weren't they? I love it when they come on. They are funny guys.
Yeah, they are natural. Oh, hang on. Other side.
As if it's not enough that they're incredible musicians, they also happen to be bloody good blokes.
Also blazoned on my chest this evening. Yes,
Do you reckon you can hold the fort for 2 minutes on your own? Because I really
Definitely
need
not.
to wee.
Definitely not.
What are we going to do about this then?
Wow.
Didn't put
Should have
this in
thought
the
about
notes,
that before we started glugging red wine. Niche reference
Says
there.
he glugged.
Says he glugged.
Riot at school. That's a good story.
On the subject of pubs, what's the best bar you've ever been to, spent the night in? That's a good question.
Go on, do it.
Go on then, go for a wee. You lay about.
Right, you go into a story, but also don't forget to mention the old Bridport bar, because that's a perfect setup.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I missed that cue up. The ball was there, the bat was here, and I just dropped it.
Yeah,
nightmare.
Teed you up.
Yeah. Well,
can I actually go for a wee then?
Yeah, go for it. Hurry up.
Legend. Thanks, mate.
The best bar I haven't been in yet, Mitch, is the Dark Bear bar in Bridport. But probably the best bar I've been in was in Coogee Bay, Sydney, Australia, and it was on the beach, the Palace Hotel. The downstairs was like a bookies, a cafe, and a pool hall. Then there was an escalator to the next floor. Then there was another bar where they used to have like live music, and there was just bifold doors all the way around the outside that used to just open up. Then there was a balcony all the way around the outside that just had like tiki lamps and stuff, and it overlooked this incredible beach. And then there was another floor which was a nightclub, which was just in a big like circus tent dome type thing on the roof. But they did a thing. We went to Australia for 3 months, me and a few mates, and we spent 3 weeks in this one place because of this pub, essentially. And every Thursday they did a thing called Toss the Boss, which you would order your drinks and then toss a coin, see whether you paid for them or not, for 2 hours on a Thursday night. So as the night goes on and you get closer to the 10 o'clock cut-off, you're ordering like 7 jugs of Snakebite and Black, was what we were drinking at the time, and then you toss a coin and you didn't pay for a thing. And as you can imagine, yeah, good nights, good times. So that is probably the best pub I've been in. That sounds ridiculous and amazing. I just wish Trent's would reopen. Yeah, man, Trent's was good, wasn't it? Rude was good. The Attic used to be good. I think is the Attic still a thing? I was talking about those days earlier when we used to go in there all the time, but anyway, I don't want to get too niche and talky. The Two Pigs in Cheltenham's good. Guy Stockwell will disagree because he went recently on my recommendation, but it was locked down, so it was very different. But just another grotty little indie bar sort of thing I like. But yeah, Trent's, yeah, on par with Trent's it was. The Two Pigs, it was cool. Yeah, I don't know now. Restaurant's more my thing. Andrea, Dartmouth, check it out. But yeah, the Dark Bear, Bridport as well. Subject of pubs. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it for pubs. What else, Mitch? What else you got? Nothing. Going back to the celebrities thing, we were in Cheltenham, where I used to live, and in a grotty little bar again on a Sunday night, and the Gloucester rugby team came in, having just won the Heineken Cup. So a friend of mine was sat on Mike Tyndall's lap, and we were drinking beer out of the Heineken Cup. That was a pretty cool night. The doorman were just like, well, we've got no authority anymore. There's just a professional rugby team in here, and we are going to do as we're told. Threw up in Mackey's around the corner at 7 a.m. Good night. Oh, yeah, I went there on tour. I forgot the first message. Sorry, I thought you were just saying you just been around the corner and yacked. Went there on tour a few years ago. The band was based in Cheltenham. Oh, who was the band? That'd be interesting. So you've been to the Two Pigs? Sweet. Yeah, it was cool. Loved it there. Loved it. Used to spend many a night in there. Upstairs was like proper indie. downstairs was like more metal, but it was a good crossover. And they've got an outdoor area with a barbecue and all that sort of thing. And that's my pub guide of the UK. So, oh, hello, mate.
Hello, mate. Thanks.
Quite right.
That was pretty desperate times.
It's been for a
I
quick
was just
wrestle,
thinking when I
have
was having a wee. Firstly, I was thinking, I hope Sharpey's getting on all right by himself, because I'm sure you smashed it. You're people's favourite round here. But also, I was thinking,
pubs. I can do that.
it's weird, isn't it? I walked into the toilet and I was thinking, of loads of sort of things you could talk about, and just like the way you sort of envisage yourself being when you're on a show like this. And then you sit down back in front of the lights and the camera, and your brain goes blank. It's like that thing when you always think you're going to be a really good guest on radio or a podcast or something, and when it actually starts happening, you sort of go into a different mode.
You just talk about wrestling in your pants and jumping in rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Know what you mean. Yeah,
it is weird, isn't it, when you do this? It's definitely, our usual thing is just get steaming and just about get through it. And I think tonight we've sort of said we're not despite the bottle of wine and a couple of beers. Yeah, we sort of said, wouldn't it be nice to just jump on and do a show where we don't necessarily get absolutely steaming, and see if we can actually provide any sort of, not insight, but just anything that might be even a little bit entertaining. And so far we're failing.
Yeah. We had to rely on our wit and charm, and
no, all right. We're doing fine. Look, all the OGs are still locked in. Mitch has given us loads in the comments.
Mitch is a legend.
What's he saying?
Well, Mitch has been to the Two Pigs, so...
On the subject of pubs, we've done that one.
That was in Two Pigs on the bassist's 24th birthday. There's drunk and there's celebrating an Australian birthday drunk. Yeah. Topped only by an Irish wake, I'd imagine.
You've been to Australia, haven't you?
Yeah, mate, if you weren't weeing, you'd know. Done that. Favourite bar. It's incredible. You should have heard about it, mate. Cool.
I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll catch up.
All right, sweet. You can do that, can you?
Yeah, if you want to watch the show. Can't do it.
Yeah, if you're not watching now...
Everyone that would watch this tomorrow is watching now, so it's fine.
Yeah. What's the wildest thing you've ever done, Sam? Booked any spontaneous holidays or anything like that?
I have, actually. I went through a weird phase of... did that come off the notes?
Yeah. Seamless, wasn't it?
You got me. You did it so genuinely that I thought you were actually just asking me it. We can't do natural and organic, can we? Like, even... Well, you just did, and you tricked me into thinking that you were genuinely asking me that. Well, you were asking me the question, but it was
and now
prompted.
You've completely ruined it. Yeah.
It's all right. We're meta. We're postmodern. Post-structuralists. I don't know what that means. I've just heard people say it.
You had to explain to me what meta meant earlier. So
I know what meta means, but it's the postmodern bit. I've been on YouTube and tried to understand what postmodernism is, and it's a complex subject. So I'll just spout it off and just make it sound like I know what I'm all about. Yeah, a couple of times I've done that. Last year, was it last year? Just let me consult my brain. It might have been last year, doesn't matter. There was a period of the business where it was going really well and I was earning good money, and I didn't really have a lot to do. I mean, I did. I should have been buying a house, and I should have been saving the old bunts. And now I'm coming to buying a house, and I'm having to take a full-time job just so I can do it. So joke's on me. But there were good experiences. So yeah, it's been a couple of times. So one time I went out with my mate Dave, and we were in Torquay. We went to Las Iguanas, and I felt like I was on holiday. I was having such a good time. We were drinking cocktails, and it's a bit of a rare one to get Dave on a sort of a mad one like that he was that night. So yeah, because we were in Las Iguanas, I was feeling the Spanishy vibe, and we were at some tapas.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we were eating tapas. We were drinking probably Estrella, maybe some Spanish cocktails and stuff. I was like, let's go to Spain. And he was like, when? And I'm like, now. And he was like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, I'll pay for us to go to Spain now. And let's book 2 flights. Like, in my head, the idea was
you had
like...
you'll pay. So...
Because in my head, I was thinking, like, you know when you just... Do you ever just look at flights on the internet just to see, like, where just sort of window shopping? Just
too depressing, especially at the moment. None. Next.
Well, Yeah, I had been looking at flights, and in my head I was just like, you get a flight to somewhere in Spain for 20 quid or whatever. And to be fair, it wasn't that much more expensive than that, but it was a little bit more expensive than that. So yeah, we were in Las Iguanas. Dave sort of nearly agreed to the idea, and then we went back to his house to look online and look at some flights, and we ended up booking the flights there and then from Exeter, I believe. So it wasn't even that far to jump on the plane. The flight was leaving in like 3 hours. Booked the flights to Lanzarote, Tenerife, one of the two, and yeah, jumped on the plane, went over. Steaming, absolutely shit-faced.
Brilliant.
Woke up in the morning, and genuinely had about, it probably was realistically about 2 minutes, but there was a good sort of period in the morning where I was like, what the hell is going on? Where the hell am I? And why am I in like a cheap, all-inclusive style hotel in Spain with Dave?
Their grading of hotels is different, isn't it? So like, you try and book at least a 3-star, but that's like 1.5 over here. I'm sure there's like substandards.
Well, this one was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I don't know what star rating it was booked as, but
they weren't stars. They were little turd emojis. There was 3 turds.
Yeah,
well, take it.
Yeah, and then once you graduate out of the turd things, then you just end up with the stars. And even then, this place was probably a 5 turd hotel.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
It was rough.
Goals.
It was in. It was either Tenerife or Lanzarote. I remember seeing the place that we were staying in a documentary, like a boozed up Brits abroad type thing.
Right. Okay.
And we quickly decided that it wasn't the place that we wanted to be. It was a great idea when we were drunk, but actually now that we're here and we're sort of planning to stay for about a week or so, let's go and do something fun. So we got on YouTube and found Google, and found out that there was a hostel that was built sort of for climbers. So they had like a climbing wall in the back garden, and they had it was built around where like the climbing sort of hotspot on the island was. So we ended up going up to there and saying to those guys, any room at the inn type thing, and there wasn't. They were full. So they said, go downstairs to the climbing shop. There was a climbing shop down there. So speak to the bloke behind the counter. He's got a few apartments around the corner, and go and sort of see if he's got any apartments free. So I was thinking, fuck, I've already just paid for Dave to come over on the plane. This is going to turn out a mega expensive trip. Because, the hostel was cheap, and I was assuming that the apartments weren't going to be. Anyway, so we went downstairs, started chatting to the guy behind the counter. He was a really nice guy. Ian, he was called. Doesn't matter.
Solid Spanish name.
We were chatting to him about his apartments, and because we said we were climbers, and because we wanted to, there was a climb that we wanted to do with him, a big multi-pitch climb, which was on the north of the island. We were basically saying to him, look, if we can stay in the apartment for a reasonable rate, then we'll do all these other climbing trips with you. And he was a climbing guide, so it meant that he was going to be getting more money out of us, basically, to take us on these trips and everything. So we ended up staying in his apartment, and we ended up going climbing with him a few times, and it was amazing. It was the first time I ever did trad climbing. Do you know what trad climbing is?
Big time, but explain it for everyone else.
So like normal sport climbing, as you've seen me doing bits and bobs. I've probably told you about. Right, so sport climbing is when there's bolts in the wall, so they're like super deep in the wall like this. They're not going anywhere, sort of thing. And you carry what are called quick draws with you, which is 2 carabiners with a bit of material in the middle. You carry them as you're climbing up. You clip a quick draw into the clip that's already in the wall, and then you clip the rope into that, and then you're safe at that height. Trad climbing is a little bit different. Trad climbing is when there's nothing in the wall at all apart from cracks, and you take little kind of nuts. Oh,
the little expanding things.
Yeah, so they're called cams. They're kind of things that go like, this wire's a bit dodgy. Come on. I was fluent then. Oh, now I've only got you in one ear. That's really annoying.
We can hear you. Just go with it.
All right, sound. Oh, yeah, ooh. There we go. So trad climbing is a little bit different. You use cams, these little things, and nuts, which are literally just a bit of metal with a bit of wire hanging out of it. And the idea is that you get good at placing these things, so you can find a point where it's safe to put that thing in the wall. Yeah. And then you instead of, you still have the quick draw, but instead of clipping it into a thing that's in the wall, you just clip it into this thing that you've just placed. So my first experience of that was with a climbing guide there. He took us out on this trip, and he climbed it first, like sport style. So he was clipping into bolts that were in the wall. And then he set up what's called a top rope. So a top rope is when the rope's already gone all the way up the wall and it comes back down to you. So if you fall on a top rope, the pressure is taking you up. So you fall and it catches you. Whereas with all the other types of climbing, if you imagine you've climbed up to this point and then the next bolt is up here. When you're climbing like that, you climb up to the next point. If you fall down here because you fall the length of the rope that's between you and the last bolt and that again because obviously... Yeah, so so I had a top rope on, and I'd climbed it, placed all the nuts and everything, like climbed it like trad style, but I did have the top rope there to catch me. That said, he left a lot of slack in the system, and if I had fallen, it would have been a hefty fall, and he would have caught me, and it would have been fine, but still fucking scary. So
had a little wrestle in your pants at the bottom.
Yeah, so that was my first experience trad climbing, and it was amazing. But I think the thing with trad climbing is you've got to learn to trust your own placement. So I have pretty much implicit trust in the bolts that are in the walls now, and I can go anywhere now, and I'll climb that stuff. Well, I think you do learn to trust the gear, and ultimately you have to learn to trust the gear because if you don't trust the gear, then you can't do the climb. Especially when it starts getting to. Sorry,
I literally wouldn't do it because I'm scared of heights, and that would be a ridiculous thing for me to get into. But me having put something in that I was relying on to support me.
It's fucking scary. It's like
no.
The bolts that are in the walls, like very, very, very rarely do they fail. Like, so we've got Anstey's Cove down in Torquay, and there's bolts that have been there for 30, 40 years. And don't get me wrong, now and again they get re-bolted, but generally speaking, these things are once they're in the wall, they're never coming out, sort of thing. You learn to trust those things, and I mean, when the climbing starts getting more difficult, like as in you're upside down and there's crazy, like, your foot's up here and all that sort of stuff, you have to learn to trust the gear.
Right, sweet. Yeah, got it now. Got it. Yeah,
maybe one of these. So you have to learn to trust the gear because you're doing moves that are hard, and a lot of the time there'll be what's called the crux of the climb, which is like the hardest point of the climb. And actually, to do that part of the climb, you're gonna fall. So falling is part of the sport. It's you learn to fall, and you learn to fall safely, and you learn to you learn the mindset of falling. Like it's part of the game.
Yeah. That
said, in trad, like the idea is that you don't fall. So I mean, you can fall because in theory you're protected, but the idea is you don't fall because you don't want to test those placements that you've put in. So
it's not just like a cat, land on your feet every time. Otherwise,
and to be fair, even just in the sort of relatively small amount of climbing that I've done, we've seen some pretty mental falls. There was one time,
like you take like a crash mat with you, don't you?
That's bouldering, so that's slightly different. Sure. So bouldering is no ropes at all, but it's quite low level and it's more like technical problems. So
who's that mad Frenchman? I follow him on Instagram. He's like, no ropes, no problem, I'm up a skyscraper. Or he keeps getting arrested just doing crazy stuff. You must have seen him. He looks like Iggy Pop. He wears like,
someone in the comments will know who he is.
Yeah, he's got long blonde straight hair, like shoulder length straight blonde hair. Wears like a cowboy jacket, cowboy boots and skinny jeans, and then just goes, yeah, it's fine, I would climb up this skyscraper. And he just comes back down again and gets nicked, but like nothing, just his hands. You must know him if you're into climbing. He's like
if you climb the maddest buildings, to be fair, it's one of those things like you get into the scene and you learn like who the big names are and all that sort of stuff. I've not really climbed a lot for the last couple of years, year or so to be fair. Last year, obviously with lockdown and everything, there was very little climbing happening, but the year before was when I really got into it. There's a note on our list about the multi-pitch. Have I ever told you that story?
Yeah. Alain Robert.
No,
French Spider-Man.
No, the name might be in my mind palace somewhere, but no, not sure.
Really? That's mental. Yeah, he's like nuts. But yeah, all this sort of... Oh, look at that. Check that out. No ropes, nothing. Skyscraper.
Yeah,
no problem. Pas de problème. That was French with a Spanish accent, I think. But yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, crazy.
So, but yeah, last thing on climbing, multi-pitch. You know what a multi-pitch climb is?
Yeah, but again, tell everyone else.
All right, I'll tell the guys and girls. So a multi-pitch climb is where, so a pitch of a climb is basically from usually the ground to the first point where there's a chain. So you have all these bolts all the way up, and then you have a chain at the top. And the reason you have that is so that you can come back down again. You basically feed the rope through it, and you can come back down and take all your gear down with you. So a multi-pitch climb is multiple pitches. So you climb up to the first pitch. One guy climbs up to the top of the first pitch, in this case me, and I got Nick Berardino, Luca's little brother, down the bottom belaying me. And then what you do when you get to the top of the first climb is I have another rig on me that allows me to belay, but from the top. So then I go to the top of this one. I set up my gear at the top to allow me to belay Nick up. So I'm halfway up the cliff, and Nick comes and joins me halfway up the cliff. And then we swap over again. I go and climb the next pitch, and you know Walls Hill. I mean, I hate that we always go so local on this, but you know what I'm on about. Walls Hill.
Oh, Walls here, I thought you said.
No, Walls Hill in Torquay.
No, Bricks and Boy.
Okay, so basically you've got Anstey's Cove, which is at sea level, and then there's a big massive cliff, and then you end up on Walls Hill, which is kind of a place where people walk their dogs. It's like big field sort of thing. So after the second pitch, I'm up on Walls Hill. And then I realised that I've climbed that far that I can't hear Nick anymore. And communication is a massive part of doing like climbing, especially multi-pitch climbing. So I call him. Luckily,
you phone him.
Yeah, I literally rang him. Like, don't get me wrong, he's like chilling on a rock. He's bolted in. Like, I mean, it is mental because you are just on a cliff. But like again, you learn to trust the gear, and once you're bolted in, like hard fixed into like a bolt or whatever, you're chilling. You might be 100 foot up in the air, but you're chilling. So he's down there. He's just about to start the second pitch, and then I realise that I can't communicate with him. So I phone him, and we both go on to loudspeaker because you need your hands to do the job that you're doing. Obviously he does because he's got to fucking climb this thing. So he puts me on loudspeaker and sticks me in his pocket of the sort of jacket thing that he's wearing, and so it's going well. Like he's making his way up. I'm like pulling the rope through, like belaying him. I'm tied onto a fence post as well at this point. Bear in mind as well, the training that we've got for this at this point is we've been trained on how to belay and do kind of like rope work in a climbing gym, like safely, and we've kind of been signed off to say like, yeah, you can do that safely. And then the training that we've had to do a multi-pitch is YouTube and and just sort of working it out. And don't get me wrong, there is an element of like, if you can do a single pitch, then you can do a multi-pitch with a little bit of extra learning. Don't necessarily take that as an endorsement if anyone's watching. Like, don't necessarily go out and do it. But yeah, so anyway, I'm at the top. I'm tied onto this fence post, and so's he, because ultimately whatever I'm tied onto, he's tied onto. He's halfway through the second pitch. We're really close to finishing it. It's been like a bit of a thing that we've been working towards. We bought extra gear to be able to do it and all this stuff. Working towards it for like a good sort of 6 weeks, I would say. We had it in our mind that we were going to do it. And then we're finally sort of attempting this thing. And there's a lot of strength training and stuff that goes into it as well. And blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I'm on Walls Hill. I'm tied onto this fence post. I'm belaying him up. All of a sudden, I hear him scream and the rope goes completely dead. Like, as in, like, there's loads of slack in the rope. And I'm like, what the fuck has happened? I'm talking to him on the phone. I'm like, Nick, what is going on? And then I heard him like scream like with fear. And then the fear just turned into just like just the most euphoric kind of screaming laugh that I've ever heard. And then I still didn't have a clue. This went on for probably 30 seconds, like, but it feels like 10 hours of just going like, I don't know what's going on. Like, he could be dead. He could have fallen down the cliff.
What did happen?
He'd fallen. Right, but so he basically the climb goes like this: you go up and then you go along. It's called a traverse. So he was coming along the traverse, and I'm up over here, and he's coming towards me, and he's fallen. So the rope has kind of gone like that, and he's basically, you know, when you see the videos of people doing massive rope swings and stuff, he's essentially done that. So he's now swinging in midair up at. The climb that we'd started was already about 50 foot above sea level, and then bear in mind we'd done the first pitch and he's on the second pitch. So and the other thing, the important detail I forgot to mention was we started it way too late into the day, and at this point it's pitch black.
Oh, sweet.
So when we were at the bottom, when we were starting, we were saying like maybe it's a bit too late, maybe we should come back tomorrow, but we were hyped up, we were there, we were doing it. So it was about, I don't know,
what could possibly go wrong
on a summer's evening. So it was kind of like we'd probably get away with it. By the time I've climbed the second pitch, it's pitch black.
Wow.
There's a pun there. Yeah, so he's now swinging around in the pitch black and not communicating with me. So I sort of like gave myself enough rope to go and lean over him and find out what was going on. And then eventually he says like, he was like, I've fallen, but I'm all right.
Oof.
And then, so yeah, it was pretty scary, to be fair. It was mental not knowing what was going on. And then eventually he told me what was going on and it was like, okay, problem solved. But it wasn't quite problem solved. Because
Did you both agree
then
then that you were dickheads for doing it in the dark? Like, this was stupid, we're idiots, let's never do this again.
We were really into night climbing at the time. So,
Right, okay, so no.
we got two big like LED, you know, like the builders use on site, like those big lights.
Like you
We had
lent me
them.
for this before.
Yeah, those lights.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we bought those originally because we were climbing with them. We were just shining them up against the cliff and climbing.
Not just to light me up like a...
No.
No, fair enough.
Well, you're
I've
doing
got
right
a
with
good
lamps,
climbing story for you. With
Can I
not
finish my
such a
first?
happy ending. But yeah, I used to be banging to my fishing and I went down to Berryhead Quarry quite a lot. And a lot of people were climbing down the cliffs there, down the cliff edge.
That's
And
all
we were watching
trad around there.
Yeah, I know, but so they were these guys were climbing there, and all of a sudden we heard this yelp, and this guy just sort of plummeted, and he'd pulled himself up on a rock or just a bit of the cliff that he had grabbed onto, and as he had pulled himself up, it had come away, and it fell down the cliff and bounced off the cliff as it went, and the first bounce trapped his ankle against the cliff. And then there was just like a river of red coming down from underneath.
Whoa.
And like a load of the fishermen there were calling the police and ambulance and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was horrendous.
Coast Guard.
So they had to lower him down, and yeah. Coast Guard was
Was
out
he all
today.
right?
Helicopter was out, I don't know, carried on fishing, mate.
Nice. You didn't
pass
employ
out.
your climbing skills then.
I mean, I was about 14 at the time. I was no use to anyone. But
fair enough.
let the professionals at it.
I
But
got
yeah,
a Coast
and-
Guard story for you.
Go on.
So one time I was
A band
out
camp?
kayaking,
Right.
and yeah, I was having a good time, like out with a couple of mates kayaking. We were quite far out, and I decided that I was going to try a barrel roll, which I used to be able to do. I did when I was honestly,
I know where this
What-
is going.
when I was a kid.
It's a Coast Guard link and you're trying a barrel roll. It's just you upside down going, well, used to be able to do it.
Back in the day, I used to do a bit of kayaking, and I've got a couple of grades of some description. But one of the first things you learn is how to do, how to be upside down, basically. So the idea is, if you can't get yourself back up, you do this thing where you whack your boat to tell everybody round you that you're coming out of the boat. And then you pull out of your spray deck, and then you come up because you're wearing a buoyancy aid, so it brings you up to the surface. Or there's a move that you can do where you pull really hard and like flip your hips round, and you'll come
Eskimo
back
roll.
up the right way around.
Or is that
So-
an Eskimo roll the full, like, from up to back up again?
Yeah, I
Full
think so.
360.
I don't think it matters if you go this way and then back up this way, or this way and all the way round. But yeah, if you can
Yeah.
get yourself back up the right way around, then that's like part of the skill of it.
Yeah.
So I'm remembering that I used to be able to do this about 15 years ago, and I thought I'd try it. And
Hold my beer.
yeah, it was a bit of
Yeah.
one of those moments. So I tried it and didn't have a spray deck on, so obviously it just didn't work. The whole boat just filled with water, and couldn't get it back up the right way around.
Did you
So
not have a skirt
I'm-
on? They're called skirts, so don't...
Yeah, spray deck, skirt, same
Oh,
thing.
is that... Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
know what you meant by spray deck. I just brushed over that. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's the bit of material that goes between you and the actual kayak to stop
Yeah,
any
yeah.
water going in it. Didn't have one of them, forgot that they even existed.
Right, yeah,
rolled
that
over.
will be a problem.
Yeah, obviously the boat just filled up with water. So I'm out at sea, upside down, can't get my kayak back up the right around because it's full of water. So I'm out of the boat, leaning on the guy's boat, just trying to like flip mine back over, and it's just not happening. It's just stupidly heavy. So we decided if we went towards the rocks, then it'd probably be easier because I could get out of the boat and then flip it round. So we went over to maybe Thatcher's Rock.
Are you upright again at this point?
No, I'm upside down, pushing my boat, and the guys are kind of like
Head
paddling next to me.
underwater?
No, sorry, I'm out of the boat, but it's
Right.
upside down, and I'm pushing it along like I'm
Okay.
using it to just keep myself up. Like
Didn't seem
buoyant.
enough of a sense of urgency for you being completely
No.
submerged, upside down.
Basically,
Maybe
the
if we
first
just
thing that
cruise
happened
over
was
here for 5, well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I went upside down. First thing that happened was I'm out of the boat because it's like it just didn't work.
Yeah,
So
didn't work.
But then the problem is trying to get the kayak back up the right around. Didn't work. Took ourselves over to the rocks, and I thought I'll jump out or jump up onto the rocks, and then I'll be able to flip it around because it'll be a bit more stable. So of course, as soon as we get over to the rocks, the waves are just crashing us against the rocks, and this plan that I had quickly fell apart. So, long story short, eventually I did get the thing flipped back over, managed to empty out some of the water, and then got back in the boat, and then paddled back over to Meadfoot Beach. So we get to Meadfoot Beach, and there's 2 4x4s, like Coast Guard 4x4s there, and they come running over, and they're like, "You okay? You okay?" And we're none the wiser. Like we've just had a great day paddling, and like the whole me flipping over thing was just a bit of a laugh, and it was hilarious. And these Coast Guards are on the beach going, "Are you okay? You okay?" And we're like, "Yeah. What's the problem? Like,
what
do
are
mean?"
you doing here?
Yeah. And they're like, "Well, we saw you from the Coast Guard station, which is up on the cliff just next to where we were. Saw that you were in trouble. Obviously, it looked like we were in trouble, and we weren't. I mean, I was just messing about.
Right, okay.
I mean, ultimately, it wasn't that like I could have just pushed the boat back to the beach. It's like it's a summer's day. It wasn't. It's not like we were in there in the dead of winter, and it was like it was. We were fine the whole time. Yeah. So we get back onto the beach. There's these 2 trucks there. And they come running over. "You okay? You okay? We saw you were in trouble. The Coast Guard watch saw that you were in trouble. So they've sent us down. The lifeboat's been launched from Brixton." And then as he's saying it, fucking helicopter comes over, and we're just like, "Oh my god!"
Embarrassingly for you, I know quite a few of the lifeboat crew from school and from, as I said, when I was a nipper, I used to go fishing, and I was a member of the Sea Anglers, and a lot of the lifeboat crew are. So. Yeah.
To be fair,
I knew the boys that came out to try and rescue you.
To be fair, I felt really bad because I know it costs a lot to launch. I think every time they launch it costs like upwards of £1,000 or whatever it is, and those guys aren't supported.
Yeah, not only that, they're all volunteers, so they were going about their daily business like with their jobs or families. Their beeper went, they dropped everything, ran down, jumped on a boat, launched. For a couple of dickheads messing about in a car.
To be fair, we didn't request them. We were just out having a good time, and it's like
you know I think that's to me they're my chosen charity. If there's ever a charity box, it goes straight in there because I think they're incredible, real life heroes. Like,
is that
yeah,
RNLI?
And that's the thing that you didn't need them, and they'll be stoked that they didn't have to do anything, and you were all safe. But if it did go wrong, they'd have been there. That's the point, isn't it? But
yeah, for sure. they were great. To be fair, once they realised that we had no idea why they were even there in the first place.
Yeah,
and then
if you'd called them and said we need help, and then sorted yourselves out and went, "Oh yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've got a similar story about that, but I wasn't involved, so it's a bit of a third party story. But Jamie Trust, who was on earlier, and my mate Rob, and another mate Carl. I think it was Carl's dad. Well, it must have been because I know the other 2 weren't. But Carl's dad was one of the Coast Guards, and Jamie's dad was a fisherman, so it was pretty embarrassing for them. But one of their dads bought a sailing boat, little dinghy, so the 3 of them took it out for the day. Which, if you don't know the 3 of them, it's pretty funny anyway because Jamie's 6'7", Rob's 6'4", Carl's 6 foot, tiny. So they got in this little boat, which must have been hilarious in itself. Anyway, they got into trouble, started flapping about. They were all right, but the Coast Guard had to be launched, and it was his dad's mates because his dad was on the Coast Guard crew. All his mates turned up to come and rescue them, and they had to be dragged back to the shore. Yeah, so I think his dad got picked on as much as Carl did for that. But yeah, 3 men in a dinghy. One of them 6'7", one 6'4", one 6 foot. It was pretty funny. It's a good story. That was mentioned at Jamie's wedding in the best man speech. Funnily enough.
The sea is a cruel mistress, and we should bear that in mind and be careful out there because, yeah, a lot of these stories they're funny and they've got funny endings, but a lot of them don't have funny endings. And
no, for sure.
I mean, who are we to sit here and say that? To be fair, let's go on with another story. All right, we've done the multi-pitch. God, we did that almost seamlessly. Apart from me, the first sort of 10 minutes of the show, me going multi-pitch.
Still don't know what that means.
Multi-pitches, more than one pitch.
Yeah.
Think about it, man.
Chill
Rock singers are only rocking you half the time.
I like that midway through those stories, Mitch just went, "Where's JJ to?" As in, shut up and get Jack on with the guitar. Get the guitar. Cheers, Mitch.
Yeah, what the people don't know is that this is a pilot episode for something else that we're doing. So there you go.
And when he says people, he means me.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of people watching this show. That's the end of that sentence. There's a couple of people. No, it's not.
And one of them's enjoying it.
Yeah, there's a couple of people watching this show, and one of them's me, and the other one's Jezza. No,
I still think it's funny that I'm Jezza, and that's just completely
great. I love
fine.
it.
Not a problem.
Jezza,
And I answer
Jeremy.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not actually watching live, but there's potential for this to be a bit of a pilot to potentially pitch for some other stuff that we're thinking about. So, thanks, Mitch, for staying with us. Love you guys, really. Thanks, mate. Hope
Oh,
you
but
enjoyed
seriously, you are
tonight's
still
little,
here, Mitch. Get on.
thing.
You're a good lad, aren't you, mate?
Right. Let's leave it up to Mitch in the comments. We've got raining day stories. We've got riot at school. We got me.
You're
nearly
just
dying up a
reading
mountain.
things now, like prompts. You're just reading them. I thought they were supposed to be top secret to make this all seamless.
Well, I think that was the plan, but I'm not professional enough to do it. So
No.
let's just be
Fair
all
play.
meta about it and just read the list out and let people decide.
Okay.
Well, we got
fair enough.
stuff about holidays.
Under maybes,
Yeah.
have you ever been on TV or radio? And I think that's quite an interesting one.
Yeah, the only reason I put there is because I couldn't think of a time that I've been on TV or radio, but...
There was a documentary made about me, so...
Was there actually?
Fact. Yeah. I
Was it
think
a
I
documentary?
put this in a message to you, and I think you thought I was lying, so you just ignored it. But that was
No,
absolutely
I ignored it
true.
because it wasn't about me.
Right, yeah. No, that sounds
You
more
know how our
realistic.
relationship works, Jezza.
Yeah, true.
I
true.
switch off as soon as you start talking about yourself.
I mean, saying that it was about me is a stretch, but I was in it. It was. I went for a job when I was in Cheltenham to work in a hotel because that's what I used to do. Used to be in hospitality and work in hotels a lot, and I got a job as a reception manager for a boutique hotel that opened in Cheltenham. And when they offered me the job, they said, there is something you should know. I was like, right, okay. So stop celebrating. And they said, well, they're filming a documentary about the opening of this hotel, and they're following the owners of the company in a very office style. But it was all like not mockumentary. It was like completely factual and true. So yeah, I started a new job, and there was a film crew knocking
How old
about
are you at
for
the
the
time?
majority of it. Huh? Say again?
How old are you at this point?
I am 22. Just come back from America.
So, have you seen The Office yet?
Yes, I have.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yes, I
Have you
was
got
on a
that like, in
documentary.
your mind as like a cultural reference whilst this is all happening?
No, because I was too scared about the fact that all the nonsense that I put up with at work was being televised, essentially. But yeah, the owner of the company was also the grandson of Fry's chocolate. You know, the Turkish Delight, that pink wrapper with fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. His surname was Fry, so he was the owner of that. Cosmo was his Christian name, Cosmo Fry, and his wife was called Lulu, and they ran the Big Sleep hotels. And I was their reception manager in Cheltenham, and there was a documentary made about it, and it was mental, and it was on
Obviously,
ITV.
the logical next question is, can we see it?
Well, no, you're better on computers than me, but I gave it a good hard Google yesterday. Didn't come up with anything, and that's the only reason it's being mentioned. That's the only reason it's being mentioned tonight, because I couldn't find any sign of it. I could find comments about it to make, to back up my story, but I couldn't find actually any episodes. But yeah,
I'll find it.
All right, it was called Risky Business.
Risky or whiskey?
Risky, as in it was a risk.
Documentary.
Came up with that when they employed me.
Risky Business, a look inside America's adult film industry. This must be the
Matty
one.
P is in the house. Hold on, mate. Hey, Matt, this one's for you. Ooh.
Is
Weird,
the
isn't it? It's all
t-shirt
back to
level
front. I'm
or the
pulling
lip-
the shirt the wrong way,
Brent
but
lip bite.
yeah.
Rosie's locked back in. She's had to put the Aussie to bed, but
Put her
he's
boyfriend to
got
bed.
Bless him.
We would explain that story, but you all know it because she's been on every news platform all week. Still
That's a
talking
mental
about that
story.
shit. Yeah, still talking about that shit, mate. Big time.
Yeah, still banging on about it. Still
Banging on about that one.
What about did
Are you just trying to get episodes of that up? You don't want to see that. That was like... You
I
can't
do want to see
so-
it. Definitely I want to see you in a documentary. Are you in the documentary then?
Yeah.
Is it like The Hotel, the one that was filmed in Torquay, only you on reception instead of that?
Pretty much,
Bad.
yeah. It's like an early version of that. Yeah. And there's like
a fly on the wall type thing.
Yeah. And the...
What? And you're in it? You're like, you feature in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And it's you
mate.
with your
And
big hair
the
and
film
beard
crew
now.
consisted of a cameraman and like a producer, director, I guess. I don't know. But they were just like a young couple. They weren't a couple, but there was a bloke and a woman, and there was two of them, so therefore I'm saying couple. But anyway, yeah, they were really sound, like really cool, and it was a bit of a shambles, the hotel opening, and so it was quite embarrassing having them filming it all because they were staying in the hotel. Obviously, we saw them all the time, and they were flitting between the different hotels in the chain, and they were just really sound young professionals doing their thing, like coming back and forth from London. Oh, we're just going to film for a few days, and then just watching everything fall apart. And we were like, no, I'm a young professional too. Take me seriously. It's like,
I can't believe
mate.
you've never told me about this before.
Probably have. You were probably just talking about your lighting or something. I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, part of my
That's
life.
good,
I'm
though.
so
That's-
old, mate. All these things just get lost, you know.
Yeah. You must
But
have
yeah.
anecdotes for days.
There was one episode where I was working the afternoon shift, so it was like 3 to 11 or something, and the night shift guy was supposed to come on and he just didn't turn up, so I just had to carry on until like 7 in the morning, and they filmed it, and then it was just like it panned to my face, and it was just like that. Just me like dawning on me that I'm just there for another 12 hours. That's ace. Cheers.
This is like big news that you've been in a documentary and you're actually in it and it features you and everything.
Big time. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going to try and find it. Risky Business documentary, and it's not the one about a look inside the America's adult film industry, no?
I mean, I was also in that, but that's just
That's where it's
coincidental.
gone wrong. When I've gone on your IMDb profile, that's the two that have come up.
No.
No.
Go on then, Matt. We'll give you a plug. Matt's just said, just talking about that shit. The Dies Cast out now. So Moriarty that were incredibly entertaining last week. Their new album, The Dies Cast,
There you go.
is
If
out
you missed
now.
those guys last week, check out the virtual pub. Nobody does URLs anymore, but it's probably something like facebook.com/the virtual pub online/videos, and then look at last week's video with Moriarty, sort of live natter with them.
I mean, if you're watching us now,
session.
you've liked the page, I assume. So just look for the one from last week. It's got the date on it. I want to hear about Risky Business. I've told you about it. That's all you need to know. But yeah, it was
I'm going to find it, and we're going to
interesting times.
stream it next week on the stream.
Well, it was
Risky
about the
Business.
Big Sleep Hotel in Cheltenham. There you
Right,
go.
so
I'll give you a bit
data
more.
valuable.
Don't just sit and Google it now, you know.
The Drake Hotel.
No, just said the Big
No.
Sleep Hotel.
Oh, that's the name of the hotel.
Yeah.
All
Dickie
right,
waved
sound.
7
That's
minutes
good.
ago. He's still watching. He's in the he's in the camper van again, I believe, watching on his iPad, which I love. So
Yeah,
I'm going to find it and have a
big.
boring, innit? Big in documentaries. Not for me.
Not for me, I like it.
I like it. Nadine's in the comments. She's already slated me today. So hello, how you doing?
Yeah, big you lot for staying locked in with us, just essentially just waffling on about things
Mostly
that
my
we
mates,
do.
innit? That's weird. Isn't
My
it?
mates don't give a shit anymore. My
No.
mate, I've done so many little sort of projects that rely on mates coming to the thing in my life that my mates have just given up. They call me Spam Squire. They really do. Like the amount of gigs that I've played and put on, and when we had the 27 Club and stuff, like I'm pretty sure most of my mates have blocked me on Messenger because I'm just, just horrendous with it. I'm always doing something like this. Like there's always bits and bobs going on where I'm inviting people to events on Facebook and all that sort of stuff, and essentially I think my mates got bored of it about 15 years ago, so it's no wonder none of them are watching it now.
Yeah, we've been guilty of the same. Yeah, I do try and rein it in a bit these days, but it's got your back,
balance, isn't it? Because you sort of do stuff like this and you think like, well, I want people to watch it. I mean, for me it's 50-50. It's 50% because I think it's our original thing of why we started the pub. Like it's a cool thing to do and we bring people together, blah 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 blah. But then the other 50% is because it's nice when people sort of support something that you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's a difficult balance between kind of spamming people because there's always something that we've got going on. It's difficult to not every single week just be like battering people and sort of with adverts or at least messages and saying no.
Definitely.
At the same time,
and
you
don't want your mates to suddenly turn around and say, well, what do you mean you're doing that? You didn't tell me. Like, well, just, like you say, after 15 years of absolutely hammering you with stuff. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah. Partridge just said, where are you this week, Aston? In the park. I think that's in reference to he suddenly... I don't think Aston came on the show last week, did he? Did I just see him on House Party? Or did he come on the show? I don't know. I was a little bit drunk, but...
It all started going mental for me last week, didn't it? Because obviously I wasn't saying it on the show because it wasn't my place to say it, but yeah, it was all
of course.
in Old Torbay Hospital, wasn't it?
In labour, weren't they?
I ended up dipping out, and Josh, bless him, kept jumping on for me because there was one point where you messaged us like you were on here with the boys, pissed out your head, and you messaged us two saying, "I need a piss. Someone's gonna have to cover me." So
desperately needed the toilet. It was just me here. I was like, oh.
Yeah, bless you. To be fair, you did really well with. Obviously, you had those guys, and they're fucking incredible. They're hilarious.
It wasn't too difficult with them on.
Yeah, no, it was really, really good. To be fair, after I signed off, I had it still like I just unplugged the headphones so I could hear you when sorting the van out and doing the bits and bobs that I was doing, and if anything, it improved when I came off. So,
well, I didn't want to say.
There's your content.
Yeah, it was good because any sort of lull in conversation, any silences were just filled with the Dark Bear postcard. There you go. Get your cocktails.
When you say the Dark postcard thing, do you mean this?
Let's try that again. Yeah.
There you go.
Logo.
Big those guys up actually, because there's some cool conversations happening with those guys in the background, and it'd be cool to take some of those opportunities that are coming up for us.
For sure. Where are you, Partridge? More interestingly. What?
Where I just nearly repeated exactly what you said. Professional alert. What are you drinking? No, we've done that. What am I trying to say? Have you got an anecdote? What I'm really thinking in the back of my mind, and the reason I can't say what I'm actually thinking, is because I want to put that heater back on because I'm freezing now. So can I have 1 minute to do that?
Oh God, you've already been to the toilet. All right, well you do that, and then I'm pouring another drink.
All
Hang
right,
on, I've got a message. Hopefully this is some content.
Content.
It's Rosie. Thank you. We're watching the virtual pub on the TV. Well, we were until jet lag got to Andrew. Lol. Oh, bless him. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, with the Rosie situation, she's our friend who's all over the news, all over the place. She basically got talking to a fella she met once and fell in love, and he was in Australia, and they kept talking, kept falling in love, and now he's moved to Torbay from Australia. Ludicrous, but yeah. Sorry about the weather, Andrew. It's a bit, yeah. And now she's making you watch this, and it's just me. But it is a nice brick wall, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, very pleased for you both. I'm glad it's working well, and it's been interesting watching the comments roll in from the various links on Devon Live and stuff about your situation. The majority of them have been positive, which is very pleasing to see. And there's been a few about the logistics of it all and saying, why are you going shopping when you're in isolation? And you've dealt with it very well and slammed them and said, well, actually, if you check the legislation, we're not breaking any rules because it was on a different route or something like that. And he changed his connection flight and he came via Singapore, or I don't know. But well done you. Very happy for you. It's great.
Well
Sam's
done
back.
you,
I can
Jazza.
just see, oh, there he is.
Talking of congratulations, you did well on your
Thanks,
own.
mate. Oh, you did mean for me. That was
Yeah.
rare.
The heater doesn't work.
Great.
So
Perfect.
have I told you about the heater, like backstage or off, like just when we're FaceTiming or whatever?
No, but is that content worthy?
It's nearly content worthy, so I'm going to say it anyway.
Can I go to the toilet, miss it, and you fill in these lovely people about it?
I'll just talk about the heater. God, this is
Well.
content, isn't it? Go on then, hurry
See,
up.
I did just question that.
All
Hurry
right,
up, says Tommy
I'm
Two
sure I can
Ps.
think of something.
All right, later.
Sounders, he's gone. Well, it's really weird when I can't hear his room anymore. So the heater in this van, so this caravan that I'm in at the moment over in Spain is about 45 years old, and still the original heater is inside it. So when I first moved into the van, I was sort of saying to the guys here, I'm not sure about the heater. Can we not just replace the heater for the sake of 40, 50 euros, whatever it is? Let's change the heater up. And they said, well, if we can, let's try and refurbish it. And I was like, okay, cool, let's try it at least. Get a carbon monoxide alarm in so that I don't die from carbon monoxide poisoning in the middle of the night. But also, does it even work? So I got it rigged up, got the gas plugged in and everything. It was working absolutely fine. Up until Saturday last week, after the pub. No, day after the pub. And trying to light it wasn't really working. I was going for a couple of minutes and then all of a sudden it lit, and you know that thing of like when you're using a lighter and it's not really working and then it all of a sudden lights and you get that little fireball. Imagine that, but with a heater with a gas bottle this size going into it. The biggest fireball I've seen indoors ever. It just exploded out of nowhere, and since then I've been quite cautious about using it. And then today it was freezing, so I thought, right, I'm going to try the heater one more time. So I put the heater on earlier and it was working fine. Just been over there then, just left Jezza chatting to you guys for a second, and went over and tried it, and no, it's not working. So that's why I've got the hoodie on. I'm sitting here freezing my tits off now, but I'm going to stay here and carry on nattering because I'm so professional. Right, I'm going over to the notes and I'm going to check out for a couple more stories. Right, if anyone is still watching, which there must be a couple people watching, otherwise we would have had a alarm in the background thing going off. We've got a choice of stories to be talking about. We've got a few things about holidays. We've got stuff about sort of winter mountain sort of stuff going on. We got me having a riot at school. Or we got stories about Bon Jovi, San Siro Stadium, Polish Woodstock, which is all kind of under the Raining Days banner. And then we got a couple other things. In fact, we've covered that, done that one. So, yeah, those are your choices. So if you want to chuck them in the comments, which story you'd prefer to hear. Alternatively, if you've got any other kind of questions or comments or anything, chuck them in the comments, and we'll be happy to answer anything that you want to talk about. Or if you want to actually pop onto the feed and have a little natter with us, either chuck a comment in down below, or if you know us personally, then just drop us a message personally on our Facebook. Okay, we've got a comment in from Mitch saying riot. Okay, so when 9/11 kicked off, 2001, maybe. Someone correct me in the comments. When 9/11 happened, no. Just after 9/11, when the Iraq War kicked off, and the news was announced that we were going into Iraq, a couple of people in my
How did
school.
we get onto Iraq?
It's the riot story. So,
don't know.
yeah, when just after 9/11. The reason I'm merging those stories together is because I remember I was in school when 9/11. Do you remember where you were when 9/11 happened, Sharpey?
Yes, I was at Cy Mitchell's house. His parents were away. He was at work. Me and Andy Tallett were hung over on his sofa. All shit kicked off. Yeah.
So I was in school, which hopefully makes you feel old. Yeah, we were in PE at the time, and I remember were playing. playing basketball and came back into the changing rooms, and somebody saw it on their phone, but that was almost definitely not the case at that time.
No.
Somebody
Flipped
had
it
heard
open.
something. The news had got into the school, and it was like, we're at war. I distinctly remember a guy coming in going, we're at war, like it's kicking off. Didn't know what was going on, and eventually
My dad
sort of found
woke
out
me
the
up
story.
saying that when the
Really?
Iraq War kicked off, and I was probably about the same age as you when 9/11 happened. And
Well,
he walked into my room. It was when the Scud missiles started going off. He came in, shook me, and woke me up and said, "Get up, we're going to war." And I was like, I thought I had school, but Christ.
Yeah. Hand me my rifle.
Yeah, literally. I was like, 5 more minutes. All right. But yeah, anyway, go on, sorry.
So, second Iraq War then, is this like when I was at school? A few
worry.
months after 9/11
Don't worry, you little
happened?
nipper.
So,
It was Afghan, wasn't it?
Afghanistan, all right.
If you're asking.
What
What were
were
we
you
talking about
talking
here?
about here?
Welcome, Elliot, and good question.
Elliot.
Going to war, mate.
Talking about the second Iraq War, or maybe the Afghan War. Basically, when I was at school, there was a few kids in the playground protesting that the UK was joining America in a war that we were going to, which might have been the second Iraq War. It might have been the Afghanistan War. But
9/11
it started off
was
as a
all
bit of a
Afghan, wasn't it?
peaceful protest, placards, that type of thing. Oh, we're going to skip our lessons and we're going to do the protest thing. And the Herald Express were coming down taking some pictures. It's the local paper for anyone who's not from our area. And yeah, it got to sort of, this started in the morning, it got to lunchtime, and they'd gained a few people. Obviously, people had realised if you go and join the protest, then you're going to miss some lessons at school, and everybody
Sweet.
at school for some reason had an obsession with getting out of lessons. That's the only reason I play an instrument now, is because when I was in primary school, they came in and said, does anyone want to learn an instrument? Nobody really put their hand up, and then they said, you get to miss lessons when you do it. I was like, sign me up, I'll do drums, guitar, keyboard, the lot. So anyway, secondary school, there's this protest going on in the...
Sorry, Andy Tallett just said, "Morning, gents. I heard my name. What were we up to on Mitchell's sofa?" That's the lad I was watching TV. We were watching Neighbours on Cy Mitchell's sofa when we heard about the 9/11 things, because it was breaking news came up. Andy's tuning in. He's saying good morning because he's in Singapore. So thanks for tuning in, Andy. Legend.
Mental. I like it when we get international listeners, even if they are from Torbay originally.
Yeah, but no, I don't get to speak to Andy as much as I'd like, so that is bloody lovely. Good to see you, mate. Well, I can't see you, but good for you to see me, I'd imagine. Anyway, carry on, Sam.
Good for you to see me.
Sound like you, don't I?
What did you top your drink up with, by the way? Because it looks mental.
Oh, yeah, it's not red anymore, is it? I've got a gin now. Different glass, if you're asking. Bigger, so...
It looks massive, to be fair.
It is. It's one of those huge gin balloons, but it's got some ice, got some lime,
Is that
got
what they
some
call
gin,
it, a
and got some
balloon?
tonic. That's what I call it. I think it is. Yeah, it's better than a fish bowl, isn't it?
Well, you're the hospitality guy who's had a documentary made out of him, so you must...
Andy will tell you about that. I was living with him at the time.
Come on,
Oh,
Andy,
so good
tell
to
us
have
about it in
Andy.
the comments. Give us some embarrassing stories about Sharpey from back in the day.
Oh no, he's just gone. Connection. Got it.
God, that's always happening. When
Yeah,
people start
bloody Singapore
slagging you off.
talks. Very
Do you want to hear about this,
unreliable.
riot, or not?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I don't think I'm overemphasising when I call it a riot either. So, there's this protest going on.
Your aunties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to come to this comment in a second. So there's these people protesting. Blah. Lunchtime comes around, right, and the word's got around the school that like basically you can get out of the lessons for the rest of the day if you go and join this protest. And the protest at lunchtime is going from the school up to the local newspaper office to go and sort of like make a statement, have an interview, all that sort of stuff. So there's these like 4 or 5, maybe maximum 10 people that are part of this official protest. Lunchtime comes around, the whole fucking school's out there, right? That everyone's marching down to the.
You're still playing the
newspaper
drums.
office. Yeah, I'm like cymbals, snare drum. Yeah, so we're all marching down to the Herald Express office, the local news office. And we get there, and obviously they come out and they speak to the first couple of people at the front of the queue, sort of thing. But it's just chaos. It's just mental. So eventually we all march back down to the school, and the sort of atmosphere sort of dies. I don't know if you've ever been to a protest, but there's an amazing electric atmosphere at a protest, and even this one, even just a load of kids at school. It's still that thing of like changes in the air and kind of like there's sort of there's a mischievousness to it, or I don't know, something that there's this energy there. Anyway, the energy kind of dropped back down once we got back to the school, because it was kind of like, we did the thing that we said we were going to do. So,
comrade.
Basically, the teachers at this point are freaking out because most of the kids from the school are just disappeared. They're just all spread around the local town. And then people start filtering back into school, and they lock the gate. So they're letting people in, locking the gate, letting people in, locking the gate. And then they're saying to us, right, you need to go back to your lessons now, do the afternoon's worth of lessons. And obviously everyone's like, yeah, whatever, we're not doing that. So the field starts filling up with these kids, and then obviously it's a bit of a domino effect. Like the more kids that are in the field, the more kids that are in the lessons can see the kids in the field, and they're going, well, why are they in the field and we're not? So everyone starts leaving their lessons. Before you know it, you've literally got the whole school in the field. And then a few kids go up to the gate that's being like protected by these teachers, like shove the teachers out the way and rip the gates off of the wall, or off of the posts or whatever that are holding them in. Rip these gates off, launch them into the field, and then all the kids pile out. And then we're all like, there's loads of kids in the road and everything. And then there's a few signs get scribbled saying like "honk for peace" and all this sort of stuff.
Honk if you're horny, completely missing the point.
Yeah, honk if you're horny, honk for peace, all that. So you got cars driving past now, and these signs being held up saying "honk for peace." Obviously, people are driving past, beeping, saying "get out the fucking road! What are you doing? What are you doing in the middle of the road?" And then every time someone drives past and beeps, like to say "get out the road," the whole school erupts and goes, "Where? Yeah, peace!" and all that. So it's just completely misguided, completely deluded. And then it started getting a little bit like rioty, like a little bit chaotic, where things started getting broken, like cars that were driving past were just being completely blocked in the road, and then next thing you know, the police turn up, and I'm talking like not just a couple of bobbies, like the police turn up. There's like multiple riot vans, the dogs, everything. It was utter chaos. And I remember me and my mate Tom at the time, we were sort of over the road from the school, and these two coppers come running down with big old Alsatians like in front of them. And they were running towards us, and we just dived in a bush, and the coppers like ran past us and ended up running back down towards. Presumably they weren't just going to let all the Alsatians just eat all the kids, but obviously when you're a 14-year-old kid, that you see dogs running at you, you think, fucking hell, this is bad news. So I think we were some of the first to actually sort of like not abandon, but kind of like go back into the field and sort of like let the thing sort of become what it was. But it was big news, like locally, like. And the school that we were at the time had already sort of been problematic in the past, and they'd sort of got to the point where they were coming out of this reputation that they had for the last sort of few years, and like it used to be a really bad school, and it was getting better and everything, and this one event basically just ruined the reputation.
So you literally...
Yeah, it was super bad, to be fair.
Yeah,
like, so we all came in the next day, and we
Teachers
went
just
into... Yeah, literally. We went in to registration the next morning. Our tutor was crying, and it was like, it wasn't the jovial sort of protest atmosphere that we'd been in the day before. It was like, shit, this is really bad. Like a lot of people have really sort of disappointed, like the teachers, the school's reputation, everything. It was bad news, and it was all over the local news, and everybody was slagging the school off, and everybody. So I mean, if you're a teacher at a school and you've been working for the last 5 years to build up the reputation back up of this school that's got a really bad name, and then all of a sudden one event it kind of goes all tits up again. That was the riot at my school. So
Andy's a teacher, interestingly. So many links to Andy. He's probably gone now. Probably got better things to do with his morning in Singapore. But he did say, haha, where do we start, when you were asking for stories about me, which is good. I've got a story, which I don't know if I tell it or not, but I'm going to. I've just suddenly thought about it when you said you were walking along and dived in a hedge and the police were coming.
2 secs. Can you do a refresh? Because I'm getting a little clicking off of your mic.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Well done.
See you in a bit.
Sound. Right. That was my way of getting rid of him so I can just talk about myself again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sam Squire Show here on the Virtual Pub. I hope you enjoyed my little anecdote there about the... I'm joking, of course. There was actually clicking coming from his mic. Hopefully.
Refresh,
Did you hear
refresh.
what I went into then when you were...
I just heard I'm joking, of course, there was actually a clicking. And I was like...
I said that was my way of getting rid of him. Welcome to the Sam Squire show here on the Virtual Path.
I saw we've only got like 4 people watching now. That must be, yeah. I took them with me. They're all ringing me now. No,
Bollocks.
joking,
All 6 of my fans are watching. Got my auntie. Got the whole squad inside.
Yeah, my auntie, my brother, my new nephew.
Yeah. I
So
messaged my family WhatsApp earlier as well, saying if everyone can. Oh, there you go. My camera's died. You can still hear me, presumably, but my camera's died.
yeah, spot on.
All right, perfect timing. You do your anecdote. I'm going to sort the battery out on the camera, and I might even.
Was that
turn
actually
up for it.
died?
Yeah, it's just the battery.
Oh, well, the anecdote's
yeah.
not going to be quite so fun without your reaction, but.
Well, I'll be listening. I'll leave the mic on, and I'll just go
Alright,
over here.
sweet. Go over where?
I'll just change the battery. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, God. And people say we're not professional. Jeez.
Well, usually at this point,
Oh, I've got a GH5. Whatever. How long is it going to take? Shall I wait with this story? Or?
No, do the story.
All right, well, it's not a great story. It's just an underage drinking story. I can see you again now. Well, not you, but...
No, rapid change, mate.
All right. Like your rapid costume change when we were about to go live, and I said your shirt clashes with your wallpaper, so you were nearly live naked. I get to see the worst things, by the way. No one else has to put up with what I have to put up with. Well, I wasn't going to go into that, but yeah.
Sharpey, can you tell what item I'm slapping a certain part of my...
I definitely wouldn't have gone into that, but...
Alright, I thought that's what he meant.
No, it wasn't.
Sharpey and I played a game after the show last week.
No, we didn't play a game. There was a one player.
You were the one player. I was the host.
I was the audience. I was not. Anyway,
as if we just said that on the internet.
Well, that's not even what I was going in for. So you brought that upon yourself.
Go on then.
Anyway,
you tell me an anecdote.
Sweet. Well, it's not. It was literally only
tomorrow
relevant because you said you were walking down the street, and you dived into a hedge to hide from the police, and it reminded me of when I was. I don't know if you're really that bothered. You can work out what year the Titanic was in the cinema. You're really blurry now. That's almost unwatchable. Oh God! Honestly, see what I have to put up with. Oh, GH5, but get your license to drive it. There you go. Right.
Get your license to drive it.
So I'm guessing 14, 15. Anyway, told my parents I was off to the cinema to watch the Titanic with my mates. Not true. Walked to the bottom of the hill, met 3 of them in a field, and passed a bottle of vodka between us until it was gone. Then my mate, who looked about 18 when he was 12, I won't go too much into that, but he was like, I got served pretty easily. I'm going to go back and get some Stella. Yes. Went to the shop, got some Stella, walking along the street, like every one of us was Liam Gallagher. And we were off to see some friends in their house. Not a problem. Absolutely fine. Their parents were sound, so we were like, yeah, we'll go and have a party up there. And Brick Banter on form, Titanic 97. So I was 14. Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, bang on. Nothing was going wrong. We were pissed. We were having the time of our lives. It was great. And we were walking along the street, about to get to a friend's house, and a police car just drove past with no interest in us whatsoever. Just driving past on the way to patrol the town centre, whatever. Anyway, we completely crapped it, dived into a hedge, hence the link to your story. So they stopped, grabbed us. We were 14-year-olds off our faces. So they took us home, and they had me by the scruff of the neck as they knocked on the door and said to my dad when he answered, "Is this yours?" And yeah.
You ever been arrested?
Oh yeah, but I'm not going into that story.
All right.
I've had a citizen's arrest made on me. There's
Really?
some content for you, yeah.
Bloody hell, I didn't know those things actually existed.
Nor did I. Until that fateful night.
Should have wound your neck in.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I mean, that was fortunate that I was 17 at that point. Had I been 18, there might have been less smiles on my face. But yeah. I mean, it was all. I'll tell you later. It's not. Is it a problem? I don't know. Jamie's not watching anymore, I don't think, but he was there. His fault.
All right, Maddie.
But
thanks for joining us again.
what have I missed? Nothing.
Weird episode of the Virtual Pub.
Nothing.
When are we back
it's
on
a good
form
story.
with-
I don't know whether to. No. All
I was
right, I'll
gonna
tell
say
you.
we're gonna-
Basically, went out at the age of 17. No, don't full screen me. Come back. I want to see your reaction.
I was going to use
Basically,
it as
when-
an opportunity to
went
go
out
for a cigarette.
Clubbing. No, you filthy animal.
Right, I'm full
went
screening
out-
you, but I'm going to keep the audio one so I can still go.
No, don't full screen me. I don't want to see.
Right,
No,
sweet.
I'm not having it. You're coming back. Oh, I've just. Right.
Still
Anyway, went to Claire's. Those of you who my age will remember Claire's in Torquay, but that's none of you, so never mind. And yeah, steaming. Had a fantastic night. Came out, walked down the street, and there was this little. I don't know if you ever saw them. They were like an early version of a smart car, but it was an electric sort of like one step up from a go-kart, but people used to drive them around town and park them and all that sort of stuff.
Are they the ones that
Had
are still
like-
about now?
I don't know. It was more than a moped. Like you could get two people in it. Had like colourful roofs and stuff, but didn't have like all the windows and stuff. It wasn't a solid car, but it was like a. Anyway,
No, I'm not sure.
a few of my
Move on.
mates piled in it, and they were like, "Whoa, this looks great." And then I followed suit, got in it, and yeah, Jamie was there. Sorry to bring you into this, but just having a look around, like this is wicked. Anyway, let's go and get a kebab. He got out, and I was like, "Yeah, let's get a kebab." Bosh, and just pressed the button, and it turned out to be the handbrake, and it was parked. You know the clock tower. And the little slope past the Clock Tower pub in Torquay towards like the attic back entrance and stuff.
Yeah.
It was parked there, so obviously it flew down the hill, and you know the bollards that are there.
Yeah.
It went straight into one of them. So the owner, who happened to be a bouncer at the venue at the time, now the Foundry, came running
What was he driving
over.
that car for?
Not something I'm prepared to answer at this point. But anyway, he came running over, dragged me out of it, punched me in the face. I fell to the floor. He flipped me over, put my arms behind my back, made a citizen's arrest, and called the police. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have told that story, but yeah. So that was a good evening. Yeah. But we live and learn. But yes, I was lucky I was 17 and I
What's the upshot
paid
of
for the
citizen's
damage.
arrest?
I don't know, but I mean, if he had
Well,
said
did you-
stay there,
did you
don't
end up-
move, I'd have been like, yeah, sound, I'm not naughty. I just
But
made a
did-
mistake. Sorry.
Did you end up in a police station? Yeah.
Mhm.
I can tell you don't want to talk about this, so let's pick up the
No,
story.
no.
Yeah, all right. When did you last cry, Jeremy?
Oh,
You put it on the
yesterday.
list.
I know I did. I know, but that was because I was crying when I wrote it.
Crying with
it
laughter
was-
or crying with what?
No, well, it was no. My daughter was quite ill a few years ago, and it was on. It came up on my time hop thing, like that sort of time,
Yeah.
and I was just reading through messages of support and stuff like that, and yeah, it brought a tear to my eye. And she's absolutely fine now, and it was tears of joy and tears of sadness, reminiscing about the rubbish time we had at that time. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, firstly, I'm glad your beautiful daughter's all right now.
Yeah.
Secondly, what do you reckon of that whole time hop thing? Do you reckon it'd be better if it wasn't a thing?
No, I think it's one of the highlights of Facebook. Well, it depends,
Do you
doesn't
reckon?
it? Sometimes it brings up things you're like, oh God, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember her.
Remember
Not
when you
that
used to
one,
be this
but-
little prick, and I'm like, oh God, I've just done my best to forget about that guy.
Yeah. Do you remember when you had that magnificent beard? Oh yeah, all right, leave it out.
Yeah, mine's. Do you remember when you had that ridiculous afro? And used to be I was going to say used to be an arrogant little twat, but you were going to say something about that, weren't you?
Yeah, no, yeah. That was funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Nah, some of them are great. The ones from maybe a couple of years ago are right, but the ones that are like...
I never knew you when you looked like Seth Rogen. That's disappointing for me because I used to.
Shall I find a picture and try and do this screenshot?
No, I've seen him.
All right, I won't.
No one else cares, so that's fine.
Oh, I can't be bothered. It's miles away. Got to go through Facebook and stuff to do it. Got to go back through some painful memories just to find it.
Painful memories. Deserve to
Verity
dance.
for joining us. Thank you very much, Maddie, for coming back after your little break. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's still watching. This is a bit of a we sort of pitched it as a new show because nobody else wanted to do it tonight. Now everybody else is busy. Luca's doing his lockdown thing. His takeaways from Andrea and Owen's
Josh is stuck up a chimney.
Issues, and Josh is quite literally stuck up a chimney. So our thoughts go out to Josh and his family for him getting out that chimney. He's been up there since Wednesday, and yeah, hopefully by.
It's like
certainly by
the
the end
Chilean
of the week,
miners.
that he's
The fire brigade are dropping the pot noodle down to him every 6 hours. So
yeah. Thanks for being on. Good crack. That's Piers Lawson, which is a name that I don't recognise. Is that one
Not
of your
familiar
mates?
with it
we
either.
actually got a genuine viewer that's not just one of our mates. Not that we
Piers.
don't love our mates watching, but
we love it. It's great, especially. Well, not especially. Just every single one of it. It's great. We've got our regulars we can rely on, but seeing new names and finding out where they're from is very exciting. So, Piers, where are you from, if you don't mind us asking?
Yeah.
And how did you hear about us, dickheads?
Yeah, let us know. And also, if you're anywhere
Jack's
near
friend.
Devon, then
Of course
just,
you bloody are. Of course you bloody are.
there you go. Piers Lawson. Let's join
Jack James, most popular man you know, I would have thought.
You're going to ask me when I last cried, because the way we're meant to be doing this is we ask
Oh,
for
right, yeah,
questions,
sure. Sorry, I've been spending too much time with you and just thought it was all about me. Yeah,
No.
shoot.
Yesterday, same as you. Do you want to know why?
Sorry, I'm just reading a message from Andy.
Rude. Next.
I was saying it was good to see him. Thanks for joining us. He said, good to see you too, brother. I literally heard my name straight away. I was like, what the fuck? He just tuned in. It's like, yeah. So I was watching it with Andy Tallett. He's like, whoa!
So he tuned in for the first time, whatever, and you happened to be telling a dote about him at the time.
Yeah. I won't tell you the rest of his message, and he'll appreciate that. But
Piers
Corinna's still watching.
Vancouver,
Welcome.
Sharpey.
Sorry, say again.
Piers, Jack's mate's locked in from Vancouver.
No way.
That says he's loving the
very
pub
cool.
vibes. Cheers,
Sweet.
Piers. Nice one.
Nice one,
Thank
man.
you for joining us.
Yeah,
It's
welcome.
always nice when we get new people round. Do you want to know why I was crying then, or what?
Oh, yeah, go on. Sorry.
Because I was watching Shameless. I've never seen it before, and everyone's always telling me, because I'm into British sort of...
You've never seen it before?
Never seen it, honestly. It's been one of those things that I just thought was shit.
The American one I've not watched.
I'm into, I don't know, like basically everything that's British and that's sort of like, what's that type of comedy called?
Cult. Like, well, you of all people should know that.
Fuck off.
Ooh, I'm just going for a quick wrestle in the caravan.
Oh, that was a good item, mate. That's a genuine bit. Anyway,
you've never watched Shameless? That's
Never watched
bonkers. I suppose before your time, maybe. Frank.
I don't know why I've never watched it, but I don't know. I'm into, Office, Extras, like Fresh Meat, In Between. Basically anything that celebrates British culture, I'm into it. And I'd never done Shameless, and I thought whilst I was over here, I thought I'd get into a new series because, you know, I'm staying in this van by myself, and there's a lot of time to watch stuff. So
Got something to do between wrestles.
yeah, exactly. So I thought I would give Shameless a go. Watch the first episode, and I was like, I absolutely love this. It's fantastic. I, like, really got into the
Shameless
characters
is
like
great.
too much, like straight away.
Aston's the one to talk about Shameless.
Yeah.
He loves it. Oh, Steve Evans is here. He's worth a mention because he sent me a heartfelt apology for not being able to tune in today because he had a friend's birthday to celebrate via Zoom. I don't know why that is Zoom, but...
Zoom.
Yeah. It should be Zoom.
Yeah, big up Steve. Thanks for locking in.
Nice one, Steve. Thanks for joining
Different setup. I'm glad somebody
You're here
gave
for the
me an
best
excuse to
bits,
talk about
probably.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different setup tonight. I'm sat down, so Yeah, you know.
That's the different setup. Like, normally there's like guests, there's live music, there's a focus, and tonight we're just trying to have it as like talk between us. But you've taken the difference tonight is that you are sat down, and that says so much about you.
Well,
so different tonight. If you've noticed, I'm sat down, and there's a different style of wallpaper behind me, and a little bit of a leaf.
It's not wallpaper; it's the curtains. Actually, if you want.
All right, no one cares.
Do you want to see the Spanish mountains? Well, I mean, you can't. It's dark. But yeah, it is a different setup, and I am sat down. So
yes,
yeah,
this is true.
But
Steve, if you want to watch back tomorrow, which you said you would, so I'm holding you to that, you'll be able to catch up about everything Sam knows about climbing.
That's true. Well, not everything, but a little bit.
I know more, but there is a lot of content there.
If anything, that was a good bit. That was me actually talking. Like,
no, I enjoyed it.
A lot
it gave
of
me
this,
some time
like,
to think about something else to talk about as well.
Sharpey, there's a comment
wasn't
about you down below from Maddie. So self-absorbed.
I know, Maddie. I'm sorry. I need to get a grip. Oh, I've been on a documentary. Oh,
I'm going to do another bit in a minute. Where
I've been citizens arrested. Steve's going to be thinking, what? A documentary about brick.
You've missed out on if you haven't been.
No, that's it. That's what you need to watch back tomorrow.
All right, tell that to the investors. It's too meta, isn't it?
Who are
the
investors? Are they Moriarty, whose album is out now, The Dyer's Cast, and Dark Bear
Bar? Do you not get my message? Because every time I've mentioned this tonight, you're talking like you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't think so. I literally don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm not supposed to say too much about it, but
well, don't then.
Potentially
I'll just
start
look back and see if you've messaged me.
All right, Sounders. It might be, but we speak a lot. It could be anywhere in those messages.
Right, hang on a minute. Is Steve telling the truth? I've been thinking, Brick knows. Again, everyone seems to assume I know all these things. Sam's just done that as well. I've no idea what either of you are talking about. Basically, I'm going for a world record attempt, but I need to be timed for 3 hours. Nightmare. Steve, this is ringing a bell. Did we talk when I was drunk and I don't remember it? I do remember something about this. So what if I sat in the pub for 3 hours?
Read the comments out, just in case, because you know sometimes I listen to these shows in an audio format, and it's definitely worth reading the comments out.
Yeah, true. The comments don't tie up when you watch it back, do they?
Right, read this one first.
You just clicked on Maddie's that said self-absorbed, and to clarify,
that was
about this guy. Steve said, so I've been thinking, Brick knows, Brick forgot, but basically I'm going for a world record attempt, but I need to be timed for 3 hours. Nightmare. So what if I sat on the pub for 3 hours with a pint glass sat on my head for 3 hours? Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm in.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. We've got this platform. We've got, what is it, 7,500 people that could be interested in watching. So, yeah.
I'm interested in watching. If I get to be a part of it. I mean,
yes, Steve, if you want to do that on the pub, I mean, it's not necessarily the most riveting content for the first.
No, well, I assume we run a show alongside it. I don't think we just have him, just him.
I was thinking like we just put him on in the daytime.
No.
Just leave him there.
I see it as like, here's the show. We're going to have broken a world record by the end of this. Let's have it for you know.
Yeah, I like your pre-production that's going into it.
I'm slightly concerned that if we're doing this and we're drinking during it, we'll be sort of doing the equivalent to a virtual tickle of Steve. Do you know what I mean? We'd be trying to put him off. Like, sorry, you have to start again. He's dropped it. Because we are bloody hilarious and it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, that's true. So
I'm happy in the background. Can't be in the background, mate. You've got to be broadcast. We can have used something like a situation like maybe...
Yeah, go on.
I've got to try and pick the right one.
Yeah.
It's not this one, is it?
Yeah, like that. Like that sort of one.
Oh, yeah, so you're Sam.
Yeah.
So you're there,
You got a pint glass.
But we're here.
Yeah, we could do that. We could
But we
do
can't have
some
you
sort of,
non-visible. That would be ridiculous.
and we
Can't just say, oh yeah, no, he's not here, but he definitely did it. Trust me.
Yeah, no, he's got to be on. He's got to be. Excuse me. Bloody hell, I'm tired. I've been kept up late in the evenings these days.
Too much wrestling in caravans, you fucking weirdo.
It's not the wrestling that's the problem, mate. It's all the other stuff that's going on. Do it, Maddie says. All right, we're going to do it. Steve Evans is going to break a world record live here on the Virgil Pub, and he's going to be on a little small screen like this. And then at the end, if he breaks the record, then we might give him half the screen like this. Otherwise,
yeah.
Otherwise, you're out. Evans, sling your.
Imagine that. No, that would be wicked.
Failed.
We could have like the countdown
content.
and
exactly.
full screen him and count it down. And we've got a world record. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun. That'd be good. Steve, drop us a message. We're already talking to you anyway, so yeah, let's do that. That'd be fun. That'd be awesome. Anybody else want to try and break a world record? Let's type in on Google world records that are easy to break.
Yeah, achievable world records. I reckon if we get like 5 or 6 under our belt, can we?
17 world records you could break tomorrow. Most CDs balanced on one finger. How many do you think there are, Jeremy?
Does it have to be? Well, it's got to be a finger that'll fit in a CD. I haven't got one to hand.
Does it have to be a good album?
I know a good album.
Oh,
The Dies Cast. Oh, what's that snuck in there? Oh, The Dark Bear in Bridport. Anyway,
they've both had their
how many
allowance.
CDs? Well, it depends what finger, and I don't know that I could get a CD on all my fingers. I think it'd have to be a pinky job, wouldn't it? Maybe? I don't know. I don't think they'd go on my...
Ladies. Stevie Nichols, my mate from way back in the day, saying, can I come on and have a pint glass on my head for 4 hours? Maybe Steve will book you... Steve Nichols, maybe we'll book you the week after we book.
No,
Steve
before
Evans.
you could be a support act.
And
what's the current record, Steve? Oh, you said you need to do it for 3 hours.
Yeah, Maddie's
that was
saying,
easy,
how many
wasn't
espresso martinis can she drink in an hour? I mean,
not many if you're making them, because I've seen you make them, and it's a fairly slow process, isn't it?
me.
That wasn't a knock at you. No, not you. Oh, it's all me again. Oh,
Mine are
take
all right.
that to Andrea. You've knocked that on the head now. You're not hospitality anymore, so
Nah. Gone off.
I have rather a flat head. You're not a screwdriver, mate. Include a world record.
This is the real quiz.
What have you done? Bosh.
So, do you want to know the most amount of CDs balanced on one finger?
Well, I want to know what
50.
finger it was first. Oh.
Or you may not poke your finger through the holes of any of them. Finger must be flat against the CD.
50?
Oh, okay. So you don't actually go in it. Most CDs balanced on one finger is 50.
Bollocks.
All right. Most
How long's
T-shirts
this finger?
put on in 1 minute. How many T-shirts do you think somebody's put on in 1 minute?
I've seen that somewhere.
Probably TFO Friday that you were chatting about earlier.
Oh, mate, what a program. I was just about to mention Record Breakers, but I know you won't remember that because
I do.
You're not... No, you don't.
Yeah, I do, with Andy What's His Chops.
Chris Akabusi. Or before that, Roy Castle. But...
All right, I don't remember it.
No, exactly.
What's matey called? Who I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Andy.
I'm still... how many T-shirts? 56.
No, bollocks. 31. That's one every 2 seconds-ish with one extra. Do you reckon you could put a T-shirt on in 2 seconds, Chezza?
No, but have you seen that TikTok thing where people try and put a pair of shorts on by... What are you lolling at?
Your timing was brilliant.
Oh.
Why
where they
15%?
hold a pair of shorts like that, jump, and whip them on before they land. And that's exactly the sort of thing that you would try and love.
I reckon I could do that.
I think you should try it. Yeah.
Most sticky notes on the face in 1 minute.
In 1 minute.
There must be a minimum of 73 mil on each side. So before you start thinking,
And
I'm going to use a 72 mil squared post-it note,
Right, I'm. So, so are they having to unstick them and?
Yeah. They're
on the pad,
and they have to stick on your face for a minimum of 10 seconds per post-it.
I reckon there's.
I mean, they're calling them sticky notes on here, not post-it notes. Other sticky notes are available.
45.
58.
Really?
I'm afraid. Yeah, if you're going to be going at 45, then there's no point even setting it up. Fastest time to place 24 cans in a fridge.
I mean, that's a couple of crates, isn't it?
Gosh,
seconds.
No, they're can by can. Cans must be intact and unopened. Most use a commercially available refrigerator, and it must be with the door closed. If any cans fall over at the end and topped up or dented during the process, the attempt is deemed invalid. So why is this always such a pain in the arse? No wonder the indigenous fridge makers invented those super convenient door dispensers.
Because they do those fridge packs now, don't they? Where you just put
exactly.
them in. Exactly. I reckon. What am I looking for? The time that it took to do 24.
The time that it takes to put 24 cans in a fridge.
45 seconds.
9.76 seconds.
That's bollocks.
All right. What about this one? Most tennis balls held in one hand.
Most what?
Most tennis balls held in one hand. Must be placed
12.
one at a time with the spare hand, and all must remain in place for a minimum of 5 seconds once the last ball has been put in position.
Are they being gripped, or are they just towered up like Ferrero Rocher on top?
Let me just confirm. Must be placed one at a time with a spare hand, and all must remain in place for a minimum of 5 seconds once the ball has been put in position. It's just balls in your hand, Sharpey.
Okay. So they can rest on top.
No time limit. You can go as long as it takes. You can get balls in your hand.
But that's what I mean. But can you Jenga them up, or do you have to be able to turn it upside down and they're gripped in your hand?
No. I think you can just stack them up. You can just stand there with your hand out like this. You can have one guy here, one guy here, another guy there, and they're just stacking their balls up in your hand.
I'm just trying to ignore the.
You can have me, Luca,
homosexual connotations. Yeah. Steve will be up for it. It's another world record, so that's another one under his belt.
Saucy. Go on.
So, is it like 6 or is it like 150? Are we talking a big tower coming out of your hand?
There's 26.
Brilliant.
There you go. Most circles around the leg of so American with a basketball. Fastest time to type the alphabet backwards on an iPad. Fuck off. Most leapfrog jumps in 30 seconds by a team of 2. Fastest time to drink 500 ml of water. There you go. You torpedoed a bottle of wine once, so how quickly do you reckon you could do 500 ml
Proudest
of water?
moment on my CV. What? 500 mil. How much is 500 mil? I'm useless.
Half a litre last time I checked.
Okay. I don't know, 2 seconds?
If you did it in 2 seconds, Jeremy, I'm pleased to tell you, you would be a new world record holder here live on the virtual pub. Oh shit.
That is not. Alright. Don't, I'm not going to take it seriously.
Right,
so what was the record?
I reckon this is the one. We go for. 500 ml of water in 2.35 seconds. Must use a clear glass and no spillages allowed. Time to whip out those chugging skills.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, there's no straw mentioned there, is there? That's the game changer.
What's 500 ml of water in a glass? You could smash that, Sharpey. I believe in you, son. Come on.
Nah.
Not with that attitude, you ain't going to do it.
No, I've just got this Mac and I've got it up and running. I'm not going to
put
it through that.
Half a litre, Jezza. What's a pint in mil? Pint in mil. Put it in. We
used to do.
You can understand.
My housemate at uni was Ahmed. If you're watching, legend. I miss you. He used to be the captain of the basketball team, and they used to do these horrendous initiation things, and I used to just go along because I was his mate, and there was just like none of the bad stuff involved. I just used to be allowed to go and do the drinking stuff, and there was he used to just say, right, you and me are doing a 3-point challenge now, and this poor young lad, and I'd often get involved just for the fun, but you'd get 3 pints of your chosen drink and just have to drink them as quickly as you could, and it always took place in the toilets, in a cubicle each, and just gun it. But yeah, just Guinness, as cold as it goes down, coming up again, but ridiculous.
So
How did we get onto that?
half a
World records.
Half a litre is not even a pint. It's 0.87 of a pint.
Yeah, but I'm not one of those people that can just open up their gullet and just go, "Oi," it's gone.
Right.
I reckon, Steve, you go for a double whammy.
Right.
2 world
Yeah,
records
we'll
in
do
one
it.
night. Can you imagine that?
Most saltine crackers eaten in 1 minute. Boring. Most times jumped into a pair of underwear in 30 seconds.
There you go.
We're just talking about that. Right. Sharpey, let's see you do one before we commit you to...
So just whip out of my underwear now, yeah?
No, into.
Yeah, but I have to take them off to get
Well, no,
into them.
You could put another pair on. The record's only 9. Steve, we're giving you so many ideas here. Most push-ups with claps in 1 minute. 77. You're off your head. Fastest
Push-ups-
time to assemble...
Push-ups with
Mr.
claps,
Potato-
so... Like that.
Do it again.
I realised that the face was so unnecessary, but it was the face that I would have been making if I was doing that. Genuine fear. Don't know. Sorry, everyone watching. Anyway, wow.
Right. Fastest time to assemble Mr. Potato Head. I mean, do you want to be a cliche of an American or what? Like, leave it. Most coins stacked into a tower in 30 seconds. Have a guess how many it is. I'll give you a clue. It's between 50 and 52.
I think it's probably 51.
Correct answer, Jeremy. You are now a new world record holder.
It would be
Fastest
cool,
time
wouldn't it,
put
to
on
be a world
double
record
duvet.
holder? I mean, when I was a kid and watching Record Breakers, I thought it was like about as good as it gets. But I think I'd probably put it on my CV if I was a record holder. Are you putting your hand up? Yes, Sam.
I found a lean.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry, I thought you were asking permission to talk, which is a nice feature. I like that.
If I was asking permission, I'd say, Jeremy.
Yeah, you'd still interrupt. You'd still...
Steve says he has a rather flat head and he wants to include that in a world record. Then he would throw a kettle over a pub. What have you ever done? Nothing today.
Fair enough. Mine's perfectly spherical, so different heads for different needs.
So that's 10 world records to break while you're stuck at home. Let's give this a go. Which one so far do you reckon you got the most chance of doing?
Well, none of them.
Well, what we're going to do for next week's show?
Well, we'll find someone that wants to. I don't want to.
Tallest
I'm not
tall
your little
paper
guinea
cell,
pig. I
town
know
in
you've
30 seconds.
thrived on that for the last...
This is mental.
10
Fastest
years?
time to arrange a can of alphabetti spaghetti.
What, into alphabetical order?
Yeah.
That is mental.
What if you're missing a letter?
Well, I imagine you can just move on to the next one. Just wait till it's delivered.
Open another can.
Oh, where's the J when you need it? Oh.
Oh, here we go. Look
Mum!
at this. So it's 3 minutes and 21 seconds to find all the letters of the alphabet and a can of alphabetti spaghetti. That sounds like
so
a
they
lot of
can be
time, but
leftovers.
Trust us. You'll be turning the air blue trying to find the elusive V. Presumably because it doesn't look like a V. It ends up looking like a U, or it ends up looking like a really long L.
Yeah.
Or
I'd be chopping up a W.
I'd probably have a V in my pocket.
At all times for the
Ready and
next
waiting.
6 months, just
I mean,
in
if
case.
that's your thing, if you're into arranging alphabetti spaghetti in an attempt to break a world record,
If that's your thing, you've got things to worry about. I
Well,
reckon.
I mean, we've just admitted that we both want to be record breakers. So
I would
that's
like
what
to be a
it takes.
record holder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being
I mean, if
being
it's
that crazy book.
if
Remember
we can
that
do
book?
like boring people to death on the internet, what's the record for that? Because I'm in. I'll just sit here for
What's
days.
the record for the lowest amount of viewers on a live show on the
Yeah.
Facebook Live?
Yeah.
I think we're smashing it. Well, do you remember what's up with the long nails in the
Oh yeah, I
world
remember
record
him.
book? Why is that
He
in
was
there
in the
every
Jackass
year?
film as well, wasn't he? Do you remember?
Get over it. You haven't chopped your nails like Wellard. There's
But
loads of people in there that
Frank-
have done stuff that I know.
I don't
And
think
imagine
mine
how
would grow
impractical-
that much. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't cut my nails. I do.
I'll give
But
you
I
till the
I say-
20th of November next year, and let's see how long they get.
No.
Why is
But
that guy
that
in there?
dude-
Why is there?
'cause he's
Why
an
do
old
I remember
Indian
a
fella, isn't he?
picture of yeah,
Something like that.
yeah?
And
And
Steve-O
what's
drinks.
he doing the
Oh.
rest of the year? That's what I want to know. He's just there with the nails, and he's probably got a
I
missus.
don't think
and
he
she's there
just
going,
lives for the record. I think people probably.
well, what else is he doing with those nails? Apart from
You know,
reaching down
celebrity
behind
appearance,
radiators.
Celebrity appearances. More of these.
His missus is there going, I'm going to do the washing up again, am I? And he's like, well, I've got the nails.
Got to love. Sorry, I'm opening Play nightclub in Torquay tonight. So
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight here at Play Nightclub, it's the bloke out the record book with the nails.
he's been in
Yeah.
Jackass. He can't do that.
Oh,
So
that bloke, he can't do it. All he can do is
he had him in
scratch
a
his own
bag,
back,
didn't he? He took a
presumably.
bag off, and they were just
Horrible.
Yeah.
What is that about?
dirty.
Why do I remember some blokes being on a bike as well? Or maybe on each other's shoulders or something? What was all that about?
Don't know.
I mean, what was that book about? Like, don't get me wrong, like everybody had it. And
yeah,
like,
Maddie's
I
just
remember
said she asked for it every Christmas. Yeah, I think I did.
there you go. I think everybody
I'll
has
tell you what,
one relative that bought them that book every Christmas. Is it still going?
I asked for a few things every Christmas, and I never got them. One was obviously, Sam, you just tune out now because it's before your time. You wouldn't understand, but a Mr. Frosty, I think, and it used to be like
Mr. Frosty.
plastic snowman with basically a cement mixer type thing on his tummy.
How young do you think I am?
And it, like, I don't know, you got GCSEs looming, so best of luck. And you span it round, you put a bit of juice in. Basically, it was ice, and you put some strawberry sauce on it, and you were like, "Wee, look what I've created, Mum." Never got it because my parents saw it for the waste of money that it was, and I've seen an advert for it recently. Not that it's still available because it is tat, and pathetic. Glad I never got it. And the other one was Stretch Armstrong. Remember that guy?
I had one.
Yeah, I bet you did. Crap.
I did. Yeah. It was.
Always
I liked-
wanted it. Why?
I liked how long
the
it took
adverts.
him
Look, you watched the adverts.
Come back to normal.
Nadine, you had that. Of course you bloody did.
Which one, Mr. Frosty or Stretch Armstrong? Let us
Mr.
know in the
Frosty,
comments
she's more
below.
my age. You whippersnapper.
I can't believe how young you think I am. The amount of references that you've made where you go, "Oh, Squid won't know about this." You think?
Well,
I
it's
never
mainly
understood
because... Oh, I'm sorry if I've offended you. I've been, like, for the last decade, you and Josh have been telling me about how much I must have enjoyed the war and riding my dinosaur to work. Circling things in the Argos book. Yeah, it's no more, is it? That used to be the thing.
I remember
I
getting.
wanted
the
Bop
Argos
It, never got it. I got it, Mitch, and it was ace.
book. Yeah, Bop It.
Really
was a
good.
banger.
Bop
Yeah,
it,
to be
spin
fair-
it, flick it, pull it.
To be fair, for toys around that time, that was one that kept me going for quite a long time. Because different
Yeah, Bop It
modes
could
on
be-
there.
It could be made a drinking game as well, Bop It.
Bop It, party mode.
Pull it,
Flick it.
flick it, spin it, twist it.
There you go.
That's it.
So
Completed
many
it.
innuendos.
Yeah.
So we're not breaking a world record then, is what you decided, that you can't be bothered.
Find the
to
right
break a
record, I'm
world
down.
record.
I'll all over it. Absolutely. Definitely. But
yeah.
Steve's going to break a world record. That's exciting. Let's not try and steal his limelight. We've just put him to one side and said, well, we'll do one as well.
All
Steve's
right,
going to do
Steve,
it. That's sweet. You tell us
Send us
when, Steve, and it's on.
Send us the paperwork, we'll sign it blindly, without even reading it. We're going to do it here on the virtual pub.
Yeah. The beauty of that is, as well, we can all go to the toilet whenever we want. We just leave you on.
Can I go to the
With
toilet
your
now?
flat head
By
and a
toilet,
pint.
I mean have a cigarette.
No, I'm. If anyone's going to the toilet, I am.
All right, let's both go to the toilet. We don't have to do this. Why are we putting ourselves through this?
We haven't got a guy with a flat head with a pint on his noggin.
Well, Mitch is here. Can't someone just come on for a minute and just cover us? Because
What? Mitch is...
we're giving you 2 hours of high-quality entertainment. I mean, we're giving you half an hour of high-quality entertainment since the wine
we've
kicked
given
in,
you
and 2
some
hours
entertainment.
of absolute waffle. Right. You can't control me. I'm on the continent, mate. You're miles away from me. If I just choose to walk out of here like this, then you're on your own, mate.
You're back tomorrow, though. Right,
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, you're back.
Right. Who's breaking a record then? Maddie, what are you going to break apart from martini glasses? Maddie's put loads of comments in, and I am semi-concerned.
Bop is now bedroom instructions.
Don't ever bop it, but that was just preparing us.
Mitch, what are you talking about? I don't know if I've not been paying attention enough to know what you're on about, but I wanted bop it, never got it. Bop is now just bedroom instructions. They were preparing us. Wrong uns, but. I mean, nobody's twisting it either. Mate, we play Twister in this house. I mean, we've got Twister and the kids love it, and there's nothing weird about it. So stop it, Sam.
Egg fight at Tesco after woman told to shush during remembrance silence.
What's his news headlines? There's got to be a sound effect before you bust a news headline out.
All right, I'll find one.
Get the
Ooh, cheeky.
No, not that one.
No. All right. What
No.
about this one?
No.
All right. What about this one?
Yes.
A Tesco woman
That's the one.
covered in smashed eggs after a fight broke out between customers after over a 2-minute silence.
Brilliant. That is perfect.
While the rest of the supermarket in Middlesbrough came to a standstill, one woman continued shopping and talking. She was told to shush while customers observed the silence in honour of the fallen servicewomen and men. However, she took umbrage to this. A witness said, just before I do a potentially not racist, but just before a regionist accent, it's Middlesbrough Geordie.
No.
I'm going to do a Geordie accent regardless.
Okay, perfect.
We were all stood still, observing the 2-minute silence, when we heard lots of screaming and shouting. Everyone was looking at each other. We were like, what's going on, like? I heard someone shout, "You've disrespected my mother."
And you've come all the way to Middlesbrough to do it?
Where is Middlesbrough?
I don't know. In the
I
middle?
think you think it's in Wales based on that accent.
Yeah, I know. That was not my finest hour. Anyway, good.
So,
I'm glad she got a good egg
basically,
in.
Someone has been... I mean, arguably she didn't know that it was 2-minute silence, and all she was doing was doing her shopping, and everybody else went silent. She didn't realise what was going on. Next thing you know, she got an egg thrown at her. What's going on there?
True. But I like to make sure it happens. I went down to on Remembrance Sunday. Me and the girls went down to the seafront here because all the cruise ships we've got in the bay.
I
don't know
saw
if you
some
do.
bits about that
Do you know
online. Yeah, no, I did see some bits,
There's-
and they were all
there's
doing
like-
their...
Yeah. So there's loads of they're doing their what?
They're all doing their...
Yeah, not just stood on the deck going. They've all the cruise ships that are in the bay. Basically, they've got no work. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, so the cruise ships are moored up in Tor Bay, where it's a nice sheltered bay, and they can just chill. And they've all got honking great horns, obviously. So
that was the time to do it.
They've all got honking great horns. So to start signal the start and the finish of the 2-minute silence, they put their big horns out. But actually, as Aston's partner Jen said, it was very haunting. Like it was quite a gradual increase and stop. Like it felt like it should be misty and you should be terrified. It wasn't like it was like a gradual build up and stop. It was quite fitting, but yeah, that's where I did it.
I used to do
Didn't get
army
egged.
cadets when I was a kid.
Back to you. Go on.
Well, no, it's not really about me. It's just,
Wow.
it's just it's an experience of
Yeah.
the remembrance thing that when I used to do that when I was a kid.
What was that? Can't hear you now. You ruined it. That's not even me that's cut you out. Oh, that's better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Why'd you do that for? Why'd you cut me off? It was me. I pulled the cable.
If you don't know by now,
well, there was one in Plymouth that we did where they actually fired cannons, presumably blanks out of cannons, but that was quite sombre. Did like a big old parade thing through Plymouth, and then when it got to the 11 o'clock bit, there was some cannons fired, and that's a way to start a 2-minute silence. Whoa, God, that makes you think, doesn't it? When you're thinking about, that silence, and you go into it, and you think, I suppose when you're a kid, you think, oh God, stand here for 2 minutes doing nothing. But these days, 2 minutes silence, you start thinking about that stuff. It's quite poignant, isn't it? It makes you think.
Yeah. Absolutely, you've got to think about it. Yeah, you use those 2 minutes for what it used to be. Before it was like, oh God, like try not to be the guy that farts, or don't laugh when your mate farts during it at school and stuff. Yeah. Bloody nightmare. But no, it was cool.
All right, there you go. That was a bit of content.
Yeah. I just had a message which has made me laugh, saying, "Are you drunk or just funny?"
Both. Next.
So yeah, but that's exactly what I replied. Both. So
con artists conjure up a fake genie due to dupe doctor into buying £72,000 Aladdin's lamp. 2 men have been arrested after a doctor was conned out of 72 grand for an Aladdin's lamp. It was alleged that they conjured up a fake genie to trick their victim.
How would you do that?
Khan said that the men pretended to be an occultist and make a jinn, Jinn, a supernatural figure, appear from the lamp, the local media reported. So these two geezers have used a third geezer to sell a lamp to another geezer for 72 grand. And I reckon what they did was they went, right, you go and stand behind that wall, right? Me and what was he called? Let's get his name. Let's call him Terry. Me and Terry are going to go and stand over here, right? We're going to rub the lamp. We're going to put it really close to the geezer's face, and then you run out from behind the wall, and you can go. There you go, like Will Smith in the new Aladdin film. What is it? What's the Aladdin song? You
never had a friend like me.
Yeah. That's what's happened. So he's been behind the wall. They've gone really close to him like this, so he can't see anything. And he's got, look at this lamp, right? Rub it.
Check this out, right?
He's rubbed it. Terry's come running out from probably with a little flashbang or something. Smoke.
Where did he come from? Definitely in the lamp. Are you sure he didn't just run out from over there? Nah, he came out of here. But he's massive, and that's magic.
Why did we arrange to meet next to this wall that's just in the middle of the desert?
Yeah,
it's just a brick
circumstantial,
wall,
mate.
Yeah, nothing to do with it.
Everything good happens next to a wall. So
there you go. So and then Terry runs out from behind the wall. Terry. They're like, he's come from that lamp he has, and the bloke's fallen for it, and he's gone to tell you what, I'll give you 72 grand for that thing. Eventually they sold the lamp to him, promising it would bring health, wealth and good fortune. Khan said that later he realised the genie was actually just one of the men in disguise.
I want to see CCTV of that exchange. That is incredible.
Mr. Khan contacted the police when he realised the lamp didn't have any magical powers, and he described...
and I bet they didn't laugh. I bet they were well professional.
They mentioned Aladdin in the article. Aladdin and the genie did not appear when he rubbed it.
They didn't. Then they were all saying they loved 101 Dalmatians. They're not gonna.
This sentence is fantastic. Mr. Khan contacted the police when he realised that the lamp didn't have any magical powers as described in the folktale. Aladdin and the wish-granting genie did not appear when he rubbed it. Like they had to confirm that bit. Yeah.
I hope they record all their calls for training purposes, because I want to get hold of that audio.
Also, this... article's inaccurate because it says Aladdin and the wish-granting genie did not appear when he rubbed it, and actually it would only be the genie that would have.
Yeah, Aladdin's got nothing to do with this.
No,
he was.
He's
Aladdin,
too busy
in a
trying
sense.
to pull that bird with the abs and that. Well, when I went to watch Aladdin
We've got a
in the
flying
West
carpet.
End, the bird
It's not
who
a carpet,
played-
is it? It's a rug. So
There you go. Magic carpet. No, it's a magic carpet. It's not a magic rug ride. It's a magic carpet ride.
but it's not a carpet, is it? It's a rug.
It's a carpet. I agree
Well,
with you. It's a rug.
it's
but
not.
The song goes magic carpet ride.
I know the
a whole
song
new
does, but I'm saying the
world.
song is wrong as well.
Well, magic rug ride doesn't work quite as well. Does it?
Well, it's not my problem that the word isn't quite as pleasing to the ear.
Well-
It's the correct term, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
Princess Jasmine,
they've
yes.
taken a liberty, and you can take it
Yeah.
up with them.
magic. It's like, I'm not going to try and think of a relevant example of something else that I can change the word to, but it's wrong, is what I'm saying.
Just
So-
to finish up this little news story is the men have also cheated other families using similar models
Bloody knew they would have.
modus operandi. The amount of money they have involved runs into several million rupees. So
I bet they've been knocking off wardrobes saying there's a lion and a witch in there, mate. Honestly, absolutely cracking. You get yourself to Narnia, love. 200 quid, we'll see you in a bit.
get yourself through there, darling. There's a world of magical mystery on the other end of it
Absolutely
for
brilliant.
you.
There's a bloke in there, right? He's half unicorn, what is he? Half a fawn, half deer, half bloke. Honestly, you won't have seen anything like it. You get yourself in there, love. Give me 200
Yeah,
snots.
we
off
call
you
him
go.
Pan. He's got the legs of a lion. He's got the head of a geezer. He's yeah, bloody hell.
Oh.
All right. What about this fella then?
Magic
Taking
rug
his
rides are a thing, though, not just a Disney
magic
thing.
rug
Easy that,
ride. What about the fella who took his geese to the pub? We had
Hey,
a chat about him earlier, didn't we? So man's pet geese come with him to the pub wearing special nappies. A man who adopted.
That's the bit that got me. Apart.
Do we need? I think
I've
we need
been.
the
I've
inception.
the pub that I used to work in where I met Danny Dyer. Someone used to bring their owl in there.
For
That's
real?
a true story. Yeah,
That's
for
cool.
real.
There's a guy in Plymouth who's got a pet owl, and he just walks around the town with him and uses it to, from what I've understood, talk to girls who are inappropriately young for him.
Poor birds.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Cheers.
Squid.
Or ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to hear this one then? Or are you going to
Yeah.
bang on about someone else?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I keep interrupting. It's rude.
A man who adopted 2 pet geese during lockdown has started taking them to his local pub wearing nappies. Steve Kirby, 34, is a regular spotted walking the birds.
Why is he wearing
Norbert-
nappies? That's my question.
We're going to get to that bit.
No,
The birds are named
you
Norbert
missed
and
it.
Beep Beep around the streets of Leeds, and the odd trio have branched out into socialising in their local. I'm going to try and transition into a Leeds accent now.
That's Yorkshire,
Quite my
right?
entry point for it. It's Cook, isn't it? He's roughly around that sort of area. No, he's Derby.
he's not.
All right, I'm going to stay on this accent. Mine.
Right. While I'm going to full screen you and just leave you to a minute because I've got to do something. Okay.
That sounds ominous.
No, I just need a wee. Cheers.
All right, sound. Comments in. What is Jeremy up to right now? What do we think he's up? I mean, he just said he's going for a wee, but before he said that, if he hadn't have said it, what would your vote be that he's actually up to? Mine, top one would probably be filling up a drink. Anyway, this geezer, Steve Kirby, 34, he's a regular spotted walking the birds named Norbert and Beep Beep around the streets of Leeds, and now they've branched into socialising in their local. He lets them have free reign in the house when he's at home, while he keeps them in the pen in the garden while he's out. Stephen, who's actually called Sven, I just read it wrong a minute ago, who lives on his own, said, I know a goose is a strange pet, but something different that I've wanted to have for a while. I could have had a dog, but as I work full time, I think it's very unfair. geese require much less attention. I mean, that's mental for a start. So he didn't get a puppy because he works full time and he thought, it's a bit harsh. I don't want to leave the puppy at home on its own. But 2 geese is that's totally acceptable. So yeah, I love the 2 of them. They're brilliant characters and they are great fun to keep as pets. Are they, mate? Sven first got the idea of keeping geese a few years ago when he was in New York visiting his girlfriend and saw some waddling along the riverbank. So he's visiting his missus in New York. No, sorry, not even New York, just York. So he's in England. It's a rainy autumn afternoon. He's walking along the riverbank. He sees 2 geese and he thinks, do you know what? I want to go for a pint with them too. They look like great quack. You can have that. He said, my ex wasn't too keen on the idea, so we broke up. No, he didn't. He said, my ex wasn't too keen on the idea, so when we broke up, I decided it was finally my chance to do it. When lockdown hit, he did some research and found out his nearest breeder was in Grantham, Lincolnshire, so he set off on the 160-mile round trip. I mean, essentially what's happened here is a bloke has come out of a relationship, lost the plot. I know the feeling. He's come out of the relationship, lost the plot, and decided to buy a couple of geese and start taking them out for walks and taking them to the pub. After parting with 80 quid, he returned back to Leeds with the 2 male geese from the same clutch, which presumably is what's a group of baby geese is called. Beat Beat was named after the sound the bird makes. And,
Gaggle of geese, mate.
Well, no, it's saying here it's a clutch actually.
Oh.
If you, yeah, and blah blah blah. Basically, what's happened is this geezer's had his heart broken, and if you look at the pictures of him on this article here that I'm just about to link in there, in the comments, yeah, he's been dumped by his missus. He's bought a couple of geese, and now he goes to the pub with them, and they're both male. Actually, it's probably quite a tragic story, and it's probably not one to take the piss out of. But if you do want to laugh at it, there's the link for you. What's that Tracy's saying? A guy with an owl? Who?
It's very good. Very good.
Magical rug rides are a thing, though, just not a Disney thing. There you go. Princess Jasmine. Thank you, Maddie. I should know that. I saw Aladdin in the West End. I'm sure I must have told you at the time, but what a fantastic show that was. Incredible. I'd never been to the West End at all, and it was my first experience of the West End, and live orchestra down in the pit, and like the layers of harmonies and the set changing in the background and stuff, and yeah, it was incredible. Big up my special little friend for taking me. I'm not going to name the name because it sounds like a
my uncle used to take us once a year as a Christmas treat. He was like a big insurance bloke in London, and we used to go and we watched a few of them, Hunting of the Snark, Cats, Starlight Express, and Starlight Express was incredible. That's when they're all the trains and they're on roller skates.
Yeah.
They had like a track through the audience, so like you'd be watching it and all of a sudden this lunatic and a few people doing basically an extreme conga line would just fly around behind you on roller skates, all painted up. It was incredible. Really good. Lion King, I've heard, is absolutely banging. I've never seen it, but my parents the one that scream about it.
Yeah. Apparently it's incredible. And obviously like the whole vibe of the Lion King thing is the whole kind of, I don't know what word you're supposed to. It's got that vibe to it. I'm
you just sent me the link to the goose.
Yeah. Was that the goose I sent you? No, that's not the goose.
Oh, is it not? Oh.
No, it's the next guy.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah, Lion King soundtrack banger. I saw Warhorse and it was amazing. Did you? I didn't realise it was a stage show.
Yeah, because they've got.
Did it have like a pantomime horse in it? Like
but they do, but it looks insane. If you see.
Oh, what?
yeah. If you watch the YouTube video, it does look absolutely incredible.
So it has that setup, but they've done it well.
I've just read the link that you sent me.
Yeah, go on, read it because I really need a wee again. You do that.
Is that what you sent it to me?
You got 5 minutes to do a funny article by yourself, and Right, don't forget to interrupt.
Dickie's just asked if we can invite him and Aston on.
Yeah, of course
and
we
Leon.
can, but let's do it in a minute. Let me go for a wee and come back, and then we can have one more.
This is going to be super amateur because I've not heard about this before, but it sounds incredible. The headline is, and I can't read yet, so I'm making it up. It's not true. Ghost hunter horrified that Poundland is selling Ouija boards for Halloween. Wow. A paranormal investigator has spoken of his horror at Ouija boards being sold in Poundland for Halloween. Paul Masters, member of True Paranormal Events in the UK, obviously in the UK, said he was gobsmacked that such an item was on the shelves, claiming they can release deadly demons if not handled by trained mediums. Now, I've had some experience of Ouija boards as a drunk teenager. This is where most of my stories have been leading from this evening, isn't it? But essentially, one of my mates was incredibly upset and traumatized by what was being said to us, communicated by the medium, whatever, I don't know. But anyway, essentially, my mate was bullying him through this Ouija board, laughing his ass off at some point. But yeah, it brought a mate to tears, and it was quite traumatic. But yeah, we didn't buy it in Poundland. We made it with bits of paper, maybe Scrabble letters, and an upturned shot glass. Yeah, it was pretty all right. Okay, Dickie wants to get on. He's saying, me, Aston and Leon, content. That's the Preston Massive. Well, in a minute, Dickie. Yeah, we'll wait till Sam's back and we'll have a meeting and decide. But yeah, absolutely, not a problem, I'm sure. So yeah, Ouija boards, I don't know, they're a weird one, aren't they? They used to be Most Haunted. Did anyone ever watch that? I used to quite enjoy watching that sometimes, like Yvette Fielding that I grew up with watching on Blue Peter. She used to rock around with, Derek Acora, do you remember him? The mad scouse bloke who's got, I can hear him, he's called Graham, and he's telling me that he used to make saddles for horses here, and obviously his daughter died with a terrible accident with a screwdriver or something, I don't know, but yeah, he was bonkers. I mean, anyone believe in that? Anyone got any good paranormal stories? Seen any ghosts or anything? I've not experienced anything like it. Still doesn't stop it from scaring the hell out of me. I'm useless. I don't watch any remotely scary films because I'm a pansy. I can't handle it. People love horror films, don't they? Aston and that, love them. Not for me. Can't handle it. Not in the slightest. Awful. But I did like watching Derek Acora walking around with his night vision goggles, just getting scared about because the cameraman threw a tennis ball in the corner or something. Maddie watched it. They did a thing as well, like they did like Halloween specials, didn't they? When they went live. Grew up in a haunted house on the outskirts of London. Go on. Tell us more about that. I know there's people swear by it. I've not experienced anything, but various places in Brixham, obviously, with all the smuggling and old heritage and history of Brixham. There's the Coffin House and the Black Cottage, I think, are quite renowned for supposedly being haunted, but I've not experienced it, don't know. Derek's died, apparently. Oh, bloody hell, Mitch. Oh, well. Get his own back, won't he? Is that all right to say? Don't know. Yeah, anyone else had any haunting experiences involved in any of that? It's not something I've experienced. Not saying I don't believe in it, but prove it. Maybe. Squid's backstage. Speaking about ghosting, here he comes. Headphones are on. Friendly spirits, luckily. Thank God for that, Maddie. That was smooth, wasn't it?
Do you know what's good?
No.
You just broadcasting yourself on the internet, just talking.
Absolute twaddle. I don't know, I feel so much more comfortable just with you there.
Oh, I'm glad, mate. I'm glad. Oh, God. But to be fair,
weird.
I reckon you could do this on your own. I was just.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
no one would watch, but I could definitely do it.
I went for a wee and had you on my phone, and I was loving
did
it.
you?
It's genuinely entertaining. Hands up in the comments who reckon we should have a show with just Sharpey on his own talking about Derek Acora shows. That was
I know.
entertaining.
Yeah.
That was very good. I really enjoyed it. Right, we're getting the lads on then, or what? Are we going to throw the link into the stream? Because
you guys need to pee a lot. I mean, come on, we've been on for 3 hours and we've been to the toilet twice. It's not a lot, is it?
I really liked it when you had that moment of realisation when Mitch said that Derek Cora was dead and you started backtracking. Oh, I chuckled.
Oh.
Annoying that you're so good at this, because I try my hardest and it just comes naturally to you, doesn't it?
What, talking shit?
Oh.
Yeah.
Given that when we speak on FaceTime, it's usually me who's doing the entertaining, and then
Wow, if I could get a word in, Jesus! If you went for a toilet break, then you
anyway,
couldn't
ladies
see
and gentlemen,
it.
welcome back to the Sam Squire Show here on the Virtual Pub.
I rest my case.
That's how you guys going to be on a podcast, and I'm really good at
done
jumping
that,
in
mate.
cold
Covered
water.
it. Yeah. Jumped
I
in
go
rivers and
climbing
that.
and stuff sometimes. Right, I need to shuffle my legs because I've come back in and I've sat down out of sheer excitement.
Shuffle your legs and cross your cards. Here we go.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to bring some guests in now on the Virtual Pub. So I'm going to bang the link in the stream.
Oh no, we've lost Squid.
Come and join us.
Oh, no,
Ladies, come and join us. Anyone that wants to come and have a natter, we're at that time now where we've run out of material and we're going to bring you guys in and you're going to bring the material for us. So thank you very much.
To be fair, it's more a case of we can go to the toilet much easier if there's a few more of you about.
God, it's freezing in here. I tried to put the heater
toasty,
on a minute ago, but
too hot if anything.
pretty convinced I'm going to die if I try and put the heater on again. So yeah, when we send this to the investors, I reckon we just do the last half an hour because it's been good fun when we've been doing these news stories and stuff. I reckon that's good content. Oh, Moriarty.
Well, you know what that is, don't you?
Out now.
Oh,
Go on, let's
not
find a link to
drinking
the
thing's
die's
gone out the
cast.
window.
Die is cast. Moriarty.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah,
Whack
big
up the
those
link
guys
to
up.
the Dark Bear bar in Bridport as well while you're at it. Don't know
Alright,
if we did that.
Sounders.
We talked about it a lot. We might have linked them in. Let's do that. Look at the locks on that bad boy.
How do you do this?
That bear is fancy.
Right. Go by that. Dyer's Cast, Moriarty.
Yeah, do that. It's awesome.
Anyone joining us? Is anyone still watching? Are we still? Is this real? Are we doing this? Are we actually broadcasting ourselves on the internet?
Yeah, Dickie's just come back saying he'll be ready in 5, which worries me.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the messages were relentless.
I've got footage of Dickie with his arse out. So
You want to talk about arses out, Sam?
Oh, now we'll leave that.
Swiftly moving on.
Should we do one more news story because these are fun? I think
Definitely,
this is
yeah,
the
I've really
best
enjoyed
content we've
them.
Come up with. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next news story coming live onto the Virtual Pub is something to do with.
Don't forget the sound effect. That worked well.
No, you're doing it now. Right, I've got to quit the app because I've not paid for it, and every 20 clips that I play, it plays a mad white noise over the top of it. I think they got me though. I'll just quit the app and start it again. Pilots use jet to draw penis in the sky. In support of masturbating footballer.
This was one of my favourites that you said.
2 pilots are under investigation for allegedly manoeuvring their passenger jet through the air so that they drew the shape of a penis in the sky.
Well played, lads.
The phallic-like turns were captured on flight tracking software and were apparently a bizarre act of solidarity with the Russian football team's captain. So I didn't know about the story about. Well, first and foremost, I
wanking
still don't
footballer.
know, and I'm sure we're
Nor
going to
did
find
I.
out when we read through this article, is that the Russian football national team captain apparently was caught wanking or maybe broadcast himself on the internet wank. I mean, that's libelous.
Did a Joel
Probably
Dommett.
shouldn't be saying it. But yeah, all right, let's carry on with the article. I'm sure all the facts are all going to be revealed. Here
Let's
live
let
on the
them
Virtual Pub.
yeah.
So the unnamed crew of the Russian airline are reported to have flown the plane so that it drew a penis in the way back to their country. After footage
I've seen
sorry.
people doing this with like going for a run or riding their bikes with Strava and the likes of that. So they make
I
a
did it
dong-shaped
once.
route. Yeah, of course. I think Leon's done it.
Willy
Dickie
walks with
probably
Uncle
done it.
Squid. I call it.
But if you're a commercial pilot and you land, like I think I read it lands 20 minutes late because they've been drawing out this dong.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's incredible. Like that's great. Putting the jobs on the line. Solidarity for their football brother. Love it.
Is it okay for me to do this? Do I look too mental?
Was that just to?
Whatever.
Is that because you're cold?
So cold.
Really?
Yeah. I can't wait to get back to England where it's nice and warm. Right, here we go. Where's the... here we go. The phallic-like turns were captured on flight tracking software. The unnamed crew of the Russian Pobeda airline...
the accent helped. That was good.
Spanish. Probably.
Yeah. Pobeda. Do it in a Steve Deneen. It's the
Pobeda crew of the Russian Pobeda airline were reported to have flown a plane so that it
Not
drew
the
a
whole
penis.
thing, just the name of the
Right, sorry. In solidarity towards their country's team captain, who was suspended from international duty after footage showing him appearing to masturbate in bed was leaked online. All right, first thing that's gone wrong is don't put videos of you wanking on Instagram, especially if you're the national team's captain. Video highlights a video highlights the alleged X-rated detour taken by the flight en route to Moscow on the 11th of November. Kremlin-owned RT called it a ballsy flight path, but questioned whether the alleged stunt was a bit too cocky.
Oh, right, okay, right. The pun was intended.
I mean, if you look at the flight path, which I can see in front of me right now, it is the classic cock and bollocks. You know,
It's a
on
good
the
one.
back of the toilet door.
Can you share it? Share that screen? Is it worth it? We've all seen it.
What about if I save it and just put it as my background?
I don't think we need to worry about it too much, do we? We've all
Right,
seen.
sound.
I mean, I draw a particularly impressive one. It's kind of what I'm known for, which is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right. When you draw a as I like to call it, a classic British penis.
Hey, mine aren't necessarily British.
Oh, okay. You got some Italian influence going on.
I don't know. What? I
Rocking.
don't know the.
Right. Do you do the pubes first and foremost? Do you do the little lines for the pubes?
Yeah.
Do you do
Evenly spread along the testicles.
Okay. And do you do the spunk?
Yeah. Yeah.
What sort of layout are we talking?
Like teardropped.
Yeah, I do teardrops and then one big puddle at the bottom.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah.
well, I don't often go as far as that, but basically,
free your mind.
I think I might have discussed this before, but I was the early stages of GCSE history. I was moved for making a bit of a kerfuffle because I was sat by my friends and dicking about, essentially. So the teacher moved me to the front of the class, and she also moved another young lad to the front of the class, and we had to share a desk. That man is Christopher Williams. I was an usher at his wedding, and it was the biggest mistake she ever made. And he taught me to draw veiny, throbbing monstrosities, which was fantastic. Should have seen our jotters at school. Good Lord.
Did you see this one, which I was quite confused by? I mean, I'm not going to start.
Is this one of my drawings?
No, this is another article, but
Okay.
we're gonna have to work our way through this one to try and understand it because it's quite confusing. I'll give you the headline.
Can we, before you do this, can we bring Mitch in, because he's sat patiently backstage, and we can get his input on these as well.
No, we'll bring him in after. All right.
Too late.
What a time to come in. Oh my god.
No, I was only joking. Anyway, big up, Mitch. Thanks for joining us,
I'm
man.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Mitch, do you know what I've noticed about you?
What's that?
You're on here about as much as I am.
Am I? I don't
I've been
think
listening back to to a load of the old shows recently, and you're a regular feature on this show.
I'm definitely a regular. Yeah, but not as much as you. It's all about you anyway, isn't it, mate?
Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. He's gauging the tone of the show, isn't he?
You just bought yourself an extra 10 minutes online there, Mitch.
The only problem with Mitch and the next guest that we've got in the background coming on is that before we know it, we're going to have everyone that was watching on the stream, and there'll be no one watching. There'll just be all of us on the stream together, which isn't a problem. We'll do that. Fuck it, whatever. Yeah, Mitch, thanks for joining us, man. How's you live in Exeter now, don't you? How's Exeter?
Yeah, Exeter's okay, mate. I might be moving out fairly soon. I've been given some notice, actually, so I'm going to find a new place to live.
We've been kicked out.
Yeah, pretty much, basically. Yeah, what a time for it to happen. But yeah, it's all right. But I don't work in Exeter, so I was kind of like, if I can move a bit closer to work, then maybe that might be quite cool. But either way, I'm kind of all right with the situation. But it's not really.
I'm just trying to punctuate your story with my noise.
Shit. I'm homeless.
Well, that is appropriate, to be honest with you. I should just say that all the time. I need that with me now.
Well, if anyone watching's got any sweet hookups with a really nice place to stay, then they need a wicked cool roommate. Get involved.
If anybody does know. But yeah, it's not really lockdown at the moment. It's been going to work. So it's like, just sat in the house for 4 days, and it worked for another few. But it's a sweet deal, really. It's not too bad.
Good stuff. Right, Mitch, we need you to get involved with the reaction from this next headline that Sam's about to bust in.
Hit me.
Right. I don't know what it's going to be.
Next guest in the background, just so you know, we're going to bring you in a minute. We're just going to carry on with this news story a minute. You carry on with the espresso martini.
Yeah, you just keep chugging your espresso martinis.
Right. So,
yeah, you know who that is. Yeah.
Can we close this
Butler.
Up? Train saved from disaster by giant. Right, listen to this for a confusing headline. Train saved from disaster by giant whale after crashing through barrier at end of track.
Nah, would be confused, but I've seen this before.
What does that mean?
Really?
So,
it's like a sculpture, isn't it?
A train driver's life was saved by a giant whale tail after his train crashed through the barriers at the end of the track. The train plunged straight through and would have ended up in the water below if the artwork hadn't broken its fall. Okay. It's the first time artwork is mentioned, because a minute ago they were talking about it being a whale. Nobody else was on the train, and the driver was able to escape safely himself. The carriage is now suspended 10 metres above the footpath at the De Akkers Metro in Rotterdam.
Obviously. It's an impressive picture. If you get to see it, it's absolutely mental.
But it's a sculpture.
Yeah,
so it's like
made
an
of polyester.
It's basically a whale's tail, as if it's flipping out of the water. So it's like that.
Yeah.
And this train's derailed and landed on the. This is the worst visual ever. But then this is the whale tail, and the train's just landed like here.
Got you. Yeah, I got you.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm going to go for a screen share thing.
There we go. Squid's going to show you. Yeah, absolutely bonkers.
Can you see the tab?
Oh,
there you go. Yeah. Look at that.
Jezza, full screen me.
Mm-hmm. The only time I will ever agree to do that.
Train saved from disaster by a giant whale after crashing through the barrier at the end of the track. So here's the picture for anybody that's wondering what the hell's going on.
Whoa.
So these sculptures here are a whale tail, 2 of them. And the train's crashed through the barrier, and it's just been saved by the whale tail over here. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wondered, do you have to steer trains? Because it's kind of an easy job if you're a driver. If you don't,
I'm not sure. It's a bloody good question, to be fair.
I would have guessed no. It was more of a like a dodge 'em type thing. You go or you don't. Go-kart, throttle and brake.
Yeah, well, how much can you steer it, given that it's on a track?
Yeah, well, this is just the point, isn't it? Like, if you're a train driver, what are you doing? You just go and then not.
Right, I've spotted enough people in the background for me to have 2 seconds to desperately try and put this heater on. So, ladies and gentlemen in the comments, and lads on the stream, between us, let's try and make some noise and make some atmosphere. We've got Maddie and Dickie joining us.
Oh.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, Dickie and Aston in the camper van, is it?
Dickie's dropped his phone.
Dickie's
and his
fallen over.
portrait.
I actually did see that article, I think about a week ago or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's mental. But I think train drivers, don't they just do the speed? But it's quite
They've
high
got
paid
to. It's
job.
just it must just be a forwards and backwards
It's
scenario.
quite a high paid job though. It's really well paid.
Yeah. Well, every now and then you get some lunatic jumping in front of them, I guess, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a 3 strikes and you're out job though. Like, and by you're out, I mean like they'll pay you off for the rest of your life if you get 3 jumpers. in
But
front of you.
really,
Yeah, there's a film about it. There's a guy who's on 2 and he's like trying to look. It's it's Mackenzie Crook who was in The Office, and he's trying to find somebody
I'm listening.
a jumper so he'll get paid off for the rest of his life.
No way.
Yeah.
Right, what's going on here then, boys?
What you up to?
Some
This looks like-
motherfuckers.
it looks like a-
Let's liven this shit up. What?
So you're in the van on
What?
Dickie's drive, yeah?
Yeah. No.
Looks like a hostage video.
Dickie, are you in trouble again? Is that why you're in the van?
Straight out of Preston.
What's the drink of choice this evening, boys? Or
What
drinks?
mix, mate? Bit of everything.
Anything.
I've got a selection of like top notch swat fucking ales and that.
Right, okay.
But yeah, they're doing me a solid. Yourself? Red wine.
Um,
Nick?
Yeah, it was. I'm just having a gin now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't drink. I don't drink.
You don't drink, no.
Mitch?
I'm stone cold sober. I made a cheat meal, so I've stuffed myself for the food
Yeah.
tonight. I'm
Good,
stone
good.
cold sober.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
mate, as always.
Yeah, you see, buddy.
Yeah.
From what I can see of you, it's good to see you.
And
Is
we've
it a
got-
bit dark in here?
We got
Yeah.
Maddie down
A little
there.
bit.
You've just got your little blue hooker lights on.
Yeah, you guys look like you should be in that
Hi.
Eiffel
Buddy,
65
you alright,
video.
Yeah, thanks, son.
It's
Not,
like
not the first time Maddie's been in the back of a Volkswagen camper van, I think.
Actually, I don't think
Ooh.
I've ever been in a Volkswagen camper van.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's
what
time for
we
everything, buddy.
Yeah, they've all been Fiats.
They're only
So-
around.
Actually, you guys are only down the road from me, so I'll be 10 minutes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we're all very close. So good.
Nick.
Yes,
can I
mate.
ask a question, please.
Yeah, go on.
Have you ever
Oh,
counted?
screw that.
Have you ever counted those bricks behind you?
No.
Content,
Terrible
content.
question,
Have you
though.
ever you in Diagon Alley? Trying to get into Diagon Alley.
Oh, God.
We should do like a charity, you know, like guess this week's in the jar kind of thing.
Yeah, true.
Guess bricks in the wall.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
but
we'll do just one big charity night where we break world records and we guess the number of bricks in the wall,
Yeah,
and we'll just
Yeah,
play
sure,
Pink
please.
Floyd all night.
fiver in.
Yeah.
Like, gets it. Goes to charity. That'd be decent.
I've been around your house
You have, yeah.
more than a few times and that.
Sure. Show off.
And I
Go on.
still can't figure out where you were stood.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, the there's a window there,
Yeah.
and
Is in the classic brick shop spot.
Your Mars. Is it?
Hang
It's
on.
in his bathroom, Dickie.
So you're now parallel. You're next to the front door, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, this
yeah.
is riveting content.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry.
I thought we peeked at the whole "how do you draw your penis" type thing.
How'd you draw your penis, Paddy?
So just for
Wait, get on
clarity,
paper.
She can't draw hers. It's too big.
yeah.
Hey.
Just for clarity, Chris and I are not in the same house.
Two
Yeah.
separate streams.
Support bubble.
We're
Support bubble.
bubbled. We're bubbled in a little van.
Yeah, you're the bubble in a camper van.
The
Little
virus
van.
doesn't play camper vans.
Must be a loophole for in a van.
Nobody said nothing about fucking that.
Right, Sam, I'm going to leave you with these idiots for a minute because I'm going to go for a wee again.
Right, thanks, mate.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
All right, sound.
Go on,
Well, we've got
go on,
somebody
go on,
else in the background.
Yeah, Scotty's there. Okay,
Join
best
us.
of luck. See you in a sec.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
bye. Hello, that's
we've-
Squizzer.
That's me, Squizzer. We've got somebody else in the background who I don't believe I've met before, so I'm going to bring him in and just go for it on the stream. So thanks for Scotty joining us.
Oh,
Yes,
Scotty's it.
Scotty.
Yeah,
Scott.
Hey!
Big up, man. Thanks for joining us. How's it going?
Yes, Scotty.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, thank you.
Good, good. Have you
Scott,
been,
you been drinking tonight?
Me? No. Is
Me
this
neither.
house party?
It's the house party. Oh God, that's what I said.
That's what
No, I said it feels like house party with you here, but it's not.
I can't see you properly, guys. Where are you?
some power.
There we go. Yeah, you want to go landscape?
Ah, Chris.
There we go. Oh,
Anyway, Squid, do you have any more articles?
Yeah, I got some more. Should we do some more? Hang on, I think I'm on just normal news now.
Squid, you're leaning contagious. I've just started doing this for the first time in my life. I've never sat like this, and now.
The lean
yeah,
is infectious,
never
mate.
sat
The
like
lean
that.
is
That's a
infectious.
lie.
No, seriously. When have I ever done this?
I've seen you do that before.
Have you? No, I doubt it.
Usually
Yeah.
like this.
We got some more. We got some more news stories. What's the one on the metro? Is that the one we've already done? That's the one we've already done. What's this one? No, that's writing prompts for comedy. Come on, Jazza. We're supposed to have more articles than this.
Writing prompts for comedy. Was that a preparation thing for tonight?
Definitely not. We don't need material. We got material for days.
Sorry, just getting some supplies.
Security guard filmed trying to strangle colleague at train station. That's not funny. Next.
It could be funny. What's the funny going out of that? There's
Did you
tons of
see about
comedy
the
going on.
guy that got caught speeding on the M5, I think, doing like 145 or something?
No,
Okay.
didn't see about that, but I'm going to try and find it now.
I think the Devon police stopped it. So.
Okay.
145. Do you think he was really late, or was he just showing off?
I don't know. I just read it and I thought I'd fill the dead air with some knowledge.
Everybody drives here. Have you ever had a reason to do more than 100? And would you? And what was
If
it?
I do 90, my car starts vibrating, so I don't tend to do more than that.
Yeah, you should do 100 then. He'd love it.
If
I'd be like, just keep going.
at
just keep
above
going,
sort of
don't stop.
70 mile an hour, I start shitting myself, to be honest, no matter what car I'm in. Although,
Yeah, I know. I'm not
saying that,
great.
I've noticed that if you're in a posh car, you can sit at maybe a little bit more than 70 and you don't really notice you're doing more than 70. But I used to have a pretty ropey 206, and yeah, you go over 70 in that thing and you start
Your car
feeling
feels
like it's
it.
going to throw itself off the road, which
Yeah.
did actually happen to me once. I was in a sort of 25-year-old Golf with a friend, with three friends going up to Cardiff to see another friend who was at uni up in Cardiff, and the car basically just decided to throw itself off the road. So we were going, we were on the M5 heading up towards Cardiff, going past Bristol sort of area. We were in the fast lane and we went to come into the middle lane and somebody came up on the inside of us. So the driver pulled back into the fast lane and that created one of those kind of like skateboard style speed wobble type things. The car was going like this and eventually it flipped around. We're facing the oncoming traffic. And the best thing that could have happened to us at the time was that we hit the barrier. Luckily, that's exactly what happened. Was we hit the barrier on this side of the road, rolled, like the car flipped like 6 or 7 times into a field. I sort of like came to, looked round, and my mate who was driving was absolutely fine, albeit upside down because the car had landed upside down. I looked into the back, and my 2 friends were back there, and one of my friends had like the little tiniest cut on his forehead and one little drip of blood came down his nose, and it was almost like a bit of a blessing, to be honest. It was like, oh, okay, like
This could have been so much worse.
that's the extent of the damage. Yeah.
Christ.
All of our stuff was completely fucked. Like all of our phones are like when a car rolls like that, like the windows tend to just explode and just disappear. So what during the roll sort of thing, all the phones and everything just all disappeared out the car. The joint that somebody was rolling at the time, which was nothing to do with the car accident, probably, that had completely gone. Literally all of our possessions were just like strewn out across the M5. And the thing that I noticed about that was the police turned up, right? Actually, before the police turned up, this geezer. So we're in this field, upside down in this car. We eventually sort of unplug our seatbelts, could like land on the floor because we're upside down. The seatbelt's holding us in. Take the seatbelt off, and you go, you hit the floor, and then you crawl out of the car, and it's all just like, what the hell has just happened? So we're all stood around the car, and I sort of said to my mate, I was like, in the movies, that car explodes, so maybe we should get away from it. So we did. We made our way away from the car. We sort of started heading back up towards the road. And just over the brow of the hill, this guy, like an angel, just like popped up out of nowhere, and he'd obviously seen the thing happen, pulled over, and got out his car and came over to see what was going on. He came up over the horizon. He was like, "You right?" And we were just like, "Yeah, we think we are actually." Like weirdly, like I think we're all right. Like no one's actually hurt. And he was like, do you need any help? Is there anything I can do for you? And we're like, well, no, to be honest, like, I don't know what we're going to do about the car. It's upside down and it's knackered. But, yeah, we're going to, I don't know, call the police, whatever.
Crash where you're like, is this real? Is this actually happening?
Totally. Like, when the actual roll happened, like, the whole thing went in slow motion. Like, I was rolling a cigarette at the time, an actual cigarette, and I was in the front seat and I was rolling it in on the sort of dashboard thing, and the car went upside down, and literally all you see from that perspective is because you're locked into the seat.
London Wales pulled over and said, "What are we worried about?"
Cigarette just lifted up in the air because obviously you're upside down, and what's actually happening is that cigarette's dropping to the ground, but from your perspective it just looks like it's lifting up.
It's like that scene in Fight Club. Was it Fight Club? Where it's like he just lets go of the steering wheel and they crash, and it's just.
Yeah.
Piers said a tree crashed into me once.
And it's a few minutes after a crash, you're like, what's just happened?
I've had a message from Aston, and I'll read it. It says, "We've been stuck backstage. The regime don't like it, man."
Oh.
When was that crash? How long ago?
About 10 years ago, probably. We were kids. Well, it was whenever my mates were uni age, so yeah, probably about 10 years ago.
Oh, don't say that.
This year.
You had a crash this year?
Yeah, going down to the road in Kingsway to get the ferry, and going down the hill. It was like 9:30 at night, and it'd been raining, and it's actually like probably a couple of months ago, actually. So the leaves have started coming down, so the road was really slippery. I wasn't driving, someone else was driving, and they know the road really well, so they were going a little bit too fast. And as we came round a right-hand corner, there was a branch that had come down on our side of the road.
Naughty for a cover to do.
So swerved through it. Swerved for the branch, and we ended up down the bank, off the bank, and hit the tree. I don't even know why I'm laughing, guys.
Right, There's a screen that we should get rid of here because it's. How's that happened? There's like. Who's this middle one underneath me that's just empty?
We would, but no one. It's because Maddie and Dickie are both portrait. If they were true professionals, they would know that they need to come on with a landscape screen. But
sorry, they're working on it. Innit?
There you go. Maddie sorted herself.
Yeah, Dickie's about to do it.
always happy.
Dickie and Aston are trying to get themselves into a portrait screen. If only they realise that if they flip their phone 90 degrees.
I think they're on an iPad. I think there's the confusion. Spin it the other way around, lads.
What is it?
Go on, lads.
What is it? An eye what?
Oh, it's like having two granddads on, isn't it? But annoyingly, they're my age.
Like Vic and Bob and Exor, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
That
just
was
like
nearly
having
a
Vic and Bob.
sentence.
Oh, sorry, I do
Right.
apologise. We've got technical problems in the van.
Yeah,
Sorry about this. Do apologise.
that's all right. Lovely to see you both. Thanks for joining us.
So we
You know, when we were
looking at some
talking about the horse in the pantomime earlier.
What
News story.
photos? Not that they're showing their age. They can't work out how to spin a thing, and they've got printed out photos with them.
Got the Facebook thing off in the background. Like,
Go on, Squid. What were you saying? Squib.
I got another news story for you.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Man dressed as giant rat riding train admits it's easy to stay socially distanced. Eccentric New Yorker
That's
Jonathan
not
Lyons.
news.
All right, let's get into the story and then we'll see.
All
if
right,
it's news or not.
sorry.
Eccentric New Yorker. Hang on, wait there. Eccentric New Yorker Jonathan Lyons perches on subway train seats wearing a terrifying rat costume as part of his work as a performance artist and says people give him a wide berth.
That's
The bloke who
ridiculous.
travels on the New York subway dressed as a giant rat says his bizarre costume makes it easy to practice social distancing. Jonathan Lyons perches on the train seats wearing a strange regalia as a part of his work as a performance artist. He says the costume is ideal for staying COVID secure. I don't have to worry about people staying within 6 feet of me.
It's because they all think he's mental.
Obviously. If you see the pictures of him, which I'm about to show you by doing this screen share thing.
Yeah. I reckon Dickie and Aston would find it pretty easy to be socially distanced at the moment.
Can you see him?
Oh,
Yes, that's so much better than I expected.
If you got on the train and saw that guy, why is he like? First and foremost, take the helmet off. Take the mask off.
Well, no, he's
You
proven
can't
a
be-
point, isn't he?
You can't be gloating about people staying away from you if you're literally going to be stood on the seat with the helmet on. Best thing that geezer could hope for is put the mask in a bag and sit on the seat like a normal guy. He's wearing a suit. It's not even a costume. Once you take that mask off, it's not even a costume anymore.
Wow. You're not going to walk over and say, sorry, mate, can you move your arms? I want to sit here. That was
Exactly.
just...
I did.
Brilliant.
What an idiot. Still,
Any
though,
more?
Give us a bit
Any
of
more
content.
stories? I like them.
Oh yeah,
They're good.
got all sorts.
All sorts.
Man warned. Right, I'll give you some headlines and you can pick. Right.
All right. Go on, Mitch. You got to pick your favourite.
Man warned by police for driving down residential roads at 2 a.m. shouting "Wakey, wakey!"
There's nothing unusual about that.
What a guy! What a guy! Right, I got another one for you. Bizarre-looking sea creature that looks like a penis leaves internet in stitches. Here we go. What to do if a frozen block of urine falls on you falls on your house from a plane?
That one.
I mean, that's practical. That one.
That's
Should we dive into that one? That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's what to do. They're going in straight away with advice.
Yeah.
Advice is what we
It's a
need.
public service announcement.
When travelling abroad, have you ever wondered where exactly things go when they're flushed down the toilet, Mitch?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Rumours have flown around for years that waste just flies out of the bottom of the plane and it's left to its own devices. But fortunately, modern aircrafts are designed to hold it in a tank. This is often offloaded post landing, but sometimes things go wrong and stored sewage escapes from the plane. This is called blue ice. Ugh.
I bet it's not blue as well.
In some cases, and there have been some cases. Just ask Andy and Gaynor Swan, who were living in Stocking Farm in 2007. Andy and Gaynor were in their garden in 2006 when an 18-inch wide block of frozen urine crashed onto their roof, just 4 feet away from where Andy stood.
No, Mitch. Yeah.
It would have killed me if it hit me, without a doubt. The lump of blue ice caused hundreds of pounds of damage to their roof, scattering tiles on the patio below. It looks like it was frozen wee. I mean...
What does it look like it was frozen wee?
That's my first question towards this editorial. Is
a giant yellow ice cube. You were like,
exactly. You've already said it was blue, so... The lump of blue ice caused thousands of hundreds of pounds... No, I've already done that line.
Thousands of hundreds.
All right, what about this for a line then? This is the serious quote. I find it quite funny now, but on Saturday I was angry to say the least.
Can imagine.
I wonder when this article was written and what the timescale was from them going from fuming about the hundreds of pounds of damage that it caused to their roof to then going, do you know what, actually, I find it quite amusing. A similar incident occurred outside the Great Glen home Stephanie... A similar incident occurred outside the Great Glen home Stephanie... This sentence just doesn't work. Next. An ice ball which fell from an aeroplane ricocheted off her vehicle before landing on the gravel driveway. It was a massive lump and it could have hit someone whilst walking past my house and could have killed them. It's too scary to think about, she said.
Look at these two whoppers. Aston and Dickie are coming in from separate streams. Oh no, they're not now.
Right. Have you two got some content for us? Because you're live on the virtual pub.
Yes. Of course we are.
Yes.
Go on then. Read us the news story.
Oh, I can't see.
No,
Go on, give us a witty anecdote.
The Pope has apparently been looking at
Oh yeah.
photos
Yeah, this is brilliant.
of some sort of Instagram
Yeah, he clicked on
model.
Babe Station, basically.
That was it.
Yeah.
Lad Bible posted that, didn't they?
Babe Station.
So the Vatican are investigating, apparently. Investigating.
Investigating.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Pope,
Yeah.
and
And he's liked.
I'm up for it, to be honest. Like, go on, mate.
Yeah. I mean, it does go against everything he believes in, but she was a bit naughty. So
I don't know. Well, we don't know what he believes in, really, do we?
no, we know what he says he believes in.
But like, I think of all the popes we've had, I think he's been about 3 in there. Like,
Mate, I honestly
he's the
don't know.
best one. He looks like Liam's dad. That's the first thing. He's
What a mad dog.
Looking at birds on like Instagram, and like he's sort of, but more importantly, really, he's sort of been a bit more inclusive. He's like, he's up for like sort of gay marriage or that lot. So I feel
He's pretty liberal, isn't he? For a pope. Yeah.
I'm not a religious man.
I think we're being very judgmental. Like, he might have just been liking it as a photography perspective. He might have been saying, yeah.
No, he wasn't. Shut up.
The content is irrelevant, but that is a banging photo, so credit to the photographer. I'll like it. And that's...
No, he's just looking at her tits.
Right.
I mean,
Well, that's another angle. Yeah.
I'm not sure the Pope's really like on Instagram anyway, is he? He's sort of, he's like someone
I don't know.
in charge of that.
Yeah, no, it's been badly portrayed by the media again, which is
That's weird.
Bizarrely.
Yeah, that's not like them.
It is interesting that he's like something,
but it was
because he follows
Instagram.
nobody.
It was an Instagram account associated with the Vatican, which is obviously
Well, it's his official Instagram, isn't it? But like,
yeah, it's not controlled by him.
It can't be, can it?
Nah.
I don't know. I don't know if you saw that Bear Grylls with Barack Obama, and they took a picture for Instagram, and Obama had to borrow one of his security guards' phones to be able to take the picture because he wasn't allowed to have like his own smartphone because the GPS and stuff was trackable and he could have been just popped off at any point. Yeah, so I'm assuming the Pope's pretty big, isn't he? He's probably up there. Sam, we can just hear you tapping away. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but the Pope, he's like, he got some, yeah, bit of momentum, isn't there?
Yeah, people dig him, don't they?
Yeah,
I can find it because
I kind of I like this one the most.
You just typed in the Pope to Instagram.
No, I know this. I know this.
How many followers?
It's the fact that he's got 7.4 and he's not following anybody. It's like the most gangster stat possibly imagine. That's just the point. It's like, how did he see anything on his Instagram if he's not following anybody? Exactly. He's going to get a feed, isn't he? But
then if you're some
not using it
nudie model and all of a sudden it comes up with a notification, the Pope's just liked you. Oh, have they? You'd have a look, wouldn't you? Probably. Oh, look, he's changed his angle. Oh, he can really get the lean in now, look. Hey?
I always like your nudie photos. I always click on them. So.
Oh, yeah, but they're just for you, aren't they?
Well, yeah. These two then. We don't see any of those.
No.
How dare you?
I'll send you my OnlyFans link later.
Oh, sweet. Only bricks.
Only bricks.
Topical content.
Right, you two, your audio's terrible.
You're really quiet, yeah. I reckon it's time to go and call it a night.
Yeah, we love you, Dickie and Aston, but we'll probably talk to you on House Party.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice one. All right, love you.
Sounders. Mitchell,
right.
Thank you so much for joining us yet again. It's always lovely to have you on. Sorry we basically didn't get you that involved. It was just towards the end where it all started going a bit mental. But big up, man. We'll chat to you afterwards on the VIP team.
Yeah.
So show. Yeah. Yeah.
Go on
I'm
then,
just going
Sharpey,
to duck you out as well now. Mention that's all right.
Yeah, I will see you guys later.
Sweet. Cheers, buddy. Right.
All right, Sharpey fucking messaging me saying call it a night.
That was about an hour ago.
All right. Shall we,
yeah, let's keep on it. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it was good fun, to be fair.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that, the news segment, but
yeah, it was good.
I think we've taken a bit away from tonight. We can do stuff. Well, I think we've taken a few things away for tonight. We can do things by ourselves.
Yeah, I reckon so. And hopefully we've got a little half-an-hour segment that we can cut out of this and send it to the investors.
Yeah, I still don't know what you're talking about, but yes,
check
definitely.
your messages because I've been telling you about this all week.
Mate, you talk to me all the time. I can't read them all. But more importantly,
I can't get my hat straight.
Yeah, furious. Look, I keep doing that. You can't get your Moriarty logo on the stream.
It's difficult, isn't it? When you're broadcasting backwards.
But we're going to break some world records coming up.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
A verbal contract, so that's definitely happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to do any mad shit like that, let us know.
Maybe do you know what I've just remembered?
What?
I've got to pack up all of this stuff now. This plant, this bottle of wine, this microphone, everything.
Oh,
and I've got to be on a plane in
3 things.
About 7 hours time.
Oh yeah, you're coming home.
So yeah.
Hey, I might be able to hang out with you in a few weeks, like proper.
Yeah, I mean,
probably not.
I can either do self-isolation and then go see all the important people, and then if it's not Christmas,
if you've got time, you'll see me.
Then yeah, exactly. But yeah, stay tuned for Squid round Jez's house.
Yeah,
But yeah, in the background we have been talking about doing a couple of live shows, as in live, as in us all together in the same room. So hopefully we're going to be getting Josh down for Christmas, and at the very least, Sharpey, myself, and Josh are going to be broadcasting from the same room, which will be a weird atmosphere. I think we might even just do it like this, where we're all on our own cameras, and but we're all sat around the same table. And I think the Natter will be good fun to tune into, because it'll be basically.
I think we should do a sabotage episode where we all just bundle into Andrea. Well,
that'd be good. Yeah, let's
Luke
do that.
is mid service. Just here we
we've
are.
got your
You're live on
mates
the
at
internet. Look professional
your
and don't
mates
swear.
at the White Bear Bar.
Dark Bear. Yeah, if you're gonna do
them
it, get it right.
Too. They can come as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, White Bear Bar is my mates actually. Direct competition.
What have they done? Nothing.
I got some mates in Bridport. They run a bar called the White Bear Bar.
Do they? Is that next door to the Dark Bear, which is better?
Yeah.
So yeah. All right,
it's next
sweet.
door. Better cocktails, if anything. So don't.
Yeah. So I reckon, we'll see you in Andrea and the Dark Bear with Moriarty playing the new album, The Dyer's Cast, live. And
I'm up for it. Let's do it.
Sweet. Easy.
All right, Sounders. That to me feels like we've pretty much done a show. Or at the very least, what we've done is come online, do enough content that tomorrow I can cut this down into a little half an hour edit. We'll send it to the investors, and before you know it, we're going to be not on the virtual pub anymore. We're just going to abandon this whole platform and do the one that we get paid for. Sounders.
We can't go outside.
He's lying. I'll be here.
Together we fight.
Oh, we're not going to do
We'll
that.
win. So grab yourself a beer and grab yourself some grime and sit down with us at the virtual pub.